Woo! Well, hi everybody. I'm going to check that we're live before I say that. There it is. Yay, we're live. Hi everyone. Welcome to Nature Check, the show where you come for the game and stay for the science. This is the very first episode of our Burn campaign, a post-apocalyptic game for apocalyptic times. We'll be playing Legacy: Life Among the Ruins, and it's going to be great. But first, some announcements. Thanks to those of you who are watching us live. I saw Sarah in the chat already. I appreciate you. If you have questions for the cast, feel free to post them in the chat, and I'll bring them up when we take our halfway break. If you're not watching us live, thanks for catching us on video at our YouTube channel or on our podcast. We appreciate you coming along with us on our adventures. Don't forget, subscriptions on any of our platforms, as well as comments and reviews, really help us out, so thanks in advance for doing that as well. The social media information for the entire Nature Check cast, wow, there are a lot of people on this channel now, is down in the reference section below. And you can also follow our channel on Twitter at @CheckNature, because someone is still sitting on the @NatureCheck handle. The cast of Nature Check would also like to remind you to please check with a licensed and certified medical professional before injecting, ingesting, or otherwise medically treating yourself. There's no rolling up new stats in the real world, and we care about you, and we want you to stay healthy and safe. With that, I guess it's time for introductions. Hi, I'm Sheryl, and my pronouns are she, her. I'm a PhD student studying ecology at the University of Illinois at Chicago, and when I'm not doing research, you can find me on YouTube as the Roving Naturalist, and here on Nature Check with increasing frequency. For the Burn campaign, I'll be running the family called the Ripples, and my first character's name is Islae. Next, we've got Jordan.
Hi, I'm Jordan. I'm a second-year PhD student at Harvard and MIT. My pronouns are she, her. During the day, I study non-invasive brain stimulation and anesthesia, and at night, I run a YouTube channel where I talk about algorithms and AI and how we interact with them on a day-to-day basis, and you can find my channel under my name. For the Burn campaign, I will be running the family The Institute, and my first character will be Lissa.
Awesome. Next, we've got Peter.
Hey everybody, my name is Peter Coffey. I am an extension agent with the University of Maryland. I teach agricultural science, and my pronouns are he, him, and I will be playing a group of people called the Shepherds of the Cave, and my first character is named Charon.
And then we've got Xander.
Hi, I'm Xander. My pronouns are he, him. I am a fourth-year PhD student at Iowa State University, where I study cognitive psychology and neuropsychology. So I study brain damage as well as the way that people think about things. But mostly I just show pictures to people and see like how fast they can hit a button depending on which button I want them to hit. So that's how I actually study the things that I study. At night, I run Art Explains, which is a YouTube channel that got a ligament of the human body named after me. That's how I introduce myself from now on. And I will be playing a family called the Bowerbirds, and my first character is Ganymede, who is a law enforcer who we will learn more about as we play.
And most importantly, our game master for the Burn campaign, and who I'm going to turn it over to now, is Jareth.
Hi, I'm Jareth. I go by they pronouns. I studied nuclear and astrophysics, but these days I direct for 12 Tone, a music theory channel. So things happen. That's how it is. I guess gonna start it off with this cool little intro I wrote to get everybody excited and into it.
Still can't hear you.
That's what we were trying to.
All right. Oh gosh, no fair. Maybe I will. Rude. I'll just read this thing. I don't know why it stopped accepting my the push to talk button. Anyhow, we're learning. We're all learning here. So, did
all
you hear
tech problems
any of
are
that?
Peter's fault.
Yeah,
Damn
that's
it,
totally
Peter.
my fault. Sorry. 1,000
Nah,
times
it's fine.
sorry.
I just am so unused to not being muted. But here we are. All right, so no one got any of that. All right. It was a Thursday when the sun went out. No one knew why. It was supposed to have billions of years left, but it just went out. Of course, no one found out until about 8 minutes after it had happened, but its consequences were just as fast and absolutely devastating. Crops failed, the oceans froze, and distant stars that now danced round the clock burned too far away to provide any relief. Humanity retreated into vast caverns in the earth, and giant reactors hummed to life, burning through unimaginable quantities of fissile materials to keep light and crop and now crucial heating systems running. Hard decisions were made, but the lights were kept on. Humanity survived, but it did not thrive in those dark days. As they ran out of fuel, lights were shut off. Whole neighborhoods of underground metropolises lay empty and barren. But strict rationing and the great communal works of which humanity is capable got them through it. Then, just as mysteriously, almost a millennium later, the sun returned. No one knows exactly when. A heavily parked monthly supply expedition to harvest precious ice from the surface returned, with news of what had almost faded into legend. A bright glowing orb at its high point in the sky was beginning to warm the earth again. The council met behind closed doors and determined to set forth a new expedition to see what remained on the surface and what was to be done. You now are the lost that. I shouldn't have tabbed out. You all now stand before the council preparing to venture to the surface to see humanity's first sunrise in over a century. So, let us first, if I think anyone wants to make a family move before we do any of this, I think uncover secrets if you want to kind of learn about stuff, or subterfuge might be appropriate right now. If you want to like sabotage this mission for some, whatever your reason might be.
What was the first thing?
The uncover secrets. You can
uncover secrets that uses
data. Doesn't cost data, I don't believe, but it uses the stat data.
Oh, is that the thing where like your family elders come together in like a meeting or something? I don't know. I was reading the rules the other day, and I know it has something to do with data. I'm not super familiar.
You get to ask some questions, basically. Just to kind of, because like there've been scouting expeditions, people kind of are still aware of the zone around where your particular metropolis is, and I'm going to switch back over to the Roll20 screen. I know none of you are, but you kind of have a basic idea of most of the sites that we've kind of previously described during character creation, and viewers, you'll have to find out as the players explore. It'll be very exciting. So you have probably a pretty good idea. Anything that's like a settlement obviously isn't settled at this exact moment, but you're kind of aware of things as they stand.
So what would be the move to gather more information? You said uncover secrets?
Yes. And that's
okay.
A data roll.
Okay. We're all learning this. All right, so I'm in the family mode sheet. How do I make a data roll?
Hopefully.
I have 0 data. Do I just
fine.
roll?
You can still succeed. Gosh, where is data? Why can't...
Yeah, I was about to say, wait, where?
If you go down to where assets is, where you have like surpluses and needs, there's a little...
Oh,
it's still in character mode.
okay.
I'm gonna
I
make
see
this.
I have no data.
It doesn't have a roll, but
it lets you pick your own modifier. Let's say there's no modifier there.
Oh yeah.
6.
Any additional? Well, that's bad. You don't necessarily find things out, and in fact, a bad thing will happen to you later. No way around it.
Good.
Cool.
But right now,
a good start.
Yeah,
we can get past all that and kind of move on to the weird and interesting part of this game, which is the zooming in move. Kind of will start to take a look at your characters as the elevator gears are clinking as it slowly moves up to the surface, and I'll kind of zoom in, pan one by one. Who wants to go first? We'll kind of talk about what zooming in entails, both in terms, mostly in terms of gearing up right now, how that interacts with your family's surpluses. Oof. There we are. So for your character, and who wants to go first?
Does someone...
Do you want us to describe like their physical look, or you want us to describe like?
Why don't kind of who they? You can start kind of their physical look if you want, but also kind of their role, what they do, kind of why they wanted to go on this expedition or were chosen for it, are kind of the interesting questions to start off. And then we'll gear you up with stuff from your family that makes sense.
Okay. I'll go first.
Nice.
So Charon is he's a kind of a tall, thin man in probably his early to mid 50s. He's kind of growing silver on top.
Nice.
Pale skin, clear blue eyes, and kind of a calm presence about him. He's a leader in the Shepherds of the Cave. He's one of a couple of kind of well-respected elders, and his primary role in the family group is obtaining new samples and life forms for study and genetic experimentation.
Cool.
So he's got a lot of experience kind of exploring underground, not as much obviously above ground, but that's kind of his primary goal here is hoping to find some life above ground.
Of course, if he had put on his resume lots of experience exploring above ground, everyone would say, well, that's not true. You're clearly lying on your resume. You're embellishing. Nobody has any experience above ground.
Right.
There's monthly scouting expeditions. There's not like none. Some of you may have been up to the dark version of the world, like seen what's up.
Yeah, he had he had a summer internship in the above ground scouting missions. Yeah, in college. It was unpaid, of course, but you know, you got to get that experience somehow.
It's a command economy. Not this future, at least. Listen.
I'm sorry, you need 2 to 5 years of experience to come on this scouting trip.
And how'd it go, that first scouting set of missions? Were you good at it? Were you bad at it?
Well, so okay, this was like 30 years ago. He was a young man at the time. So I mean, basically, he was fine. He didn't lead them off a crevasse into an ice cave or anything like that. I mean, they basically just made him carry stuff and set up the tents, and he managed to do that just fine. But he wrote several really good essays about it, about how it was a very transformative experience. It really
Stop here. Excellent. Love that.
Yeah.
So now you get to take your gear, which is from your family, the Shepherds. If you don't mind, I'm gonna switch over. I think we both get to do that at the same time.
Okay.
You get trained attack animals, which are ranged and many tagged. You get homespun hides and fabric, which are utility and tough. And you get to travel on your cool pedigree animals, which will remind the party.
Okay, so Charon arrived to meet the other members of this party on a large beetle. It's about the size of a pony, and with it has a saddle sculpted into the carapace on its back.
Were they bred like that, or was that kind of like a modification?
A little bit of both. So they were bred to have these kind of large protuberances, and then when basically raw material, and then when they molt when they emerge from their pupa, insects are really soft bodied.
Mhm.
They're this kind of teneral phase where they're very, very squishy. So like as soon as they hatch, they basically force them into this kind of sculpting structure that like squeezes this growth into the final shape and then let it harden and then pull the
The fair,
muzzle
all
off.
right.
Good use of the word protuberances. I cannot remember the last time in my life I heard that word spoken out.
Right?
You're welcome.
I don't
This is what
think
I bring
I
to
have.
the group.
So Peter,
Excellent.
is this growth kind of like the horn on a dung beetle?
No, well, it's on the pronotum, I imagine. So it's
Mhm.
not like, I mean, dung beetle horns are all
It's on the
Some
pronotum.
of them are on the pronotum.
I
Okay,
was going to
yeah.
ask you because the horn on a dung
Mhm.
beetle is actually modified. It's the genetic basis for it. Oh no, we just lost Jordan. I don't know
Oh
what
gosh.
happened. There
Quick,
she is.
spin,
Okay.
spin, stall.
No. So the protuberance on dung beetles, actually the genetic basis for that is modified wings. So they have the same like basic plan, and they just wound up with an extra copy and made this horn. So I was wondering if it was something similar in your beetles.
I'm going to say yes now.
All right. Good work. We did it, gang. We
Yeah.
were world built. There it is. Words sometimes, right? Cool.
So that's
and
my
then
mount.
you get to additionally improve those various things you got with by adding tags appropriate to your surpluses. I mean, so you have crops and medicine. So I don't know how you want to apply those necessarily, but
Well, I mean, neither of those you're really seeing, but I have like a large bag and kind of saddlebags hanging off of the beetle that have supplies for an expedition in them.
okay, so well supplied. I don't remember exactly which tag is what, but well supplied is fine. Let's call that one of them. I guess for actually medicine that mid-bay is a vehicle quality as such. So we can add that. It's a bit like, abstracted, and that's totally fine. And then I don't see a vehicle quality here that says you have extra food, but let's note that you're food prepared as well. Cool. Who's next?
Is it me? Am I next?
Oh, you can.
Would be.
Go for it.
Let's do
All right.
it. What's your dude? Tell us about it.
So Ganymede is of slightly indeterminate age. Even he's not entirely sure.
Love that.
Some younger than our beetle riding friend here, but probably somewhere in his 20s because he's a lot more athletic. He likes to go to the surface as often as possible because he really enjoys getting out of the underground caverns and getting out there into the world. And so he's super excited to once again get back to the surface and just not be underground. So you know how some astronauts get really excited about like getting back out into orbit or whatever? He's like that, except, with the surface of the Earth and the center of the Earth.
That makes sense.
Ganymede volunteers for as many surface-type missions as anyone will allow him to go on. And frankly, he's disappeared a couple of times on those surface missions, and they've had to find him and bring him back against his will, and then tell him not to go back to the surface for a few months, making him upset. And basically, he's a bit of a, let's say he prefers wandering around a little bit more than he prefers being in cramped spaces. So
that's fair. Last time you went missing, what did you find?
A lot of ruins that surprisingly had already been looted. So there's some cool rooms, but everything had already been gone through and dumped on the floor, so someone had beaten me to it, unfortunately.
Interesting.
Ganymede is, what did I write here? So he's got a real gruff and hairy face. Even if he, gets a chance to take a shower and shave, he probably doesn't take it. Unfortunately. I wrote that he has appraising eyes and a scarred body, so apparently he's been in quite a few scuffles.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. If you've gotten spend a lot of time upworld, you're definitely seen some shit.
Yep. And the other notable thing about Ganymede, just like all of the Bowerbirds, is that they look like they've sort of built their armor out of just random crap that they've found. in order to sort of put together this patchwork set of sort of like dense, decorated, a mixture of metal and wood and chitin and leather and just anything you might think of, sort of stitched together and reinforced in particular areas as sort of like, it's sort of like keeping a journal too. It's like what places have you been, slap a piece of it on your armor, but also is sort of just like the family's calling card as well. And when I think about an elevator going to the surface, I think of Fallout 4. And that is the only elevator I can think of now that I've thought of it. So if it looks different than that, please let me know.
I didn't play 4, so maybe. Listen, we're all doing this in our heads. That's the cool thing about.
That's a good image. Yeah, my husband was just playing it. It's like a big circular elevator that just like, and the platform is just like flat, like flush with the surface.
Like a key thing in my head was like that it has kind of gears running up and down a track, which I don't know if the Fallout elevator does, but otherwise they can look exactly like that. What do I care? We're having fun. Except it's not branded Bethesda. You can't sue me.
It is just different enough.
It's just different enough.
I mean,
sue you. They
picture that in your head.
All elevators are kind of similar, though. So, like, also chill out, right? Like, it's an elevator.
Be cool, Bethesda.
Yeah.
You didn't invent elevators, okay? God, always having to tell Bethesda off. It's disgusting. Let's gear you up, right?
So before we had elevators, we had dumb waiters, right?
That's true.
To transport materials up and down. Up in the northernmost parts of Minnesota. Is everyone familiar with that area of Minnesota? It's like Canada, it's essentially.
Oh yeah,
way up there. There's up in Stillwater, Minnesota. There's a bunch of old mansions that still have their old like working elevators from back at like the early 1900s. And the really cool thing is they showed us the one in their garage area. They had like an area that used to be used for horses, but then around a little after the turn of the century, they got like a car in there. But because of the way everything was built, like the servants lived on the first floor and then they kept the cars on the second floor. So they actually had an elevator back there that they would use to take the car up and down or whatever. And it was the most bizarre thing. So whenever anyone wanted to drive, they'd have to get the car into the elevator, bring it down, and then they could take it out. So that's my aside about elevators.
Yeah. Well, now we know. Which is like half the battle, I'm told. Don't sue me, G.I. Joe. God. Can't become a recurring bit, I promise. Let's gear you up. That's what we were doing. You had, for your weapons, cool assassination bleeds, which were melee and hidden. Improvised armor, which you've already described as tough and armored. You have as assets or surpluses, defenses, and weapons. And for travel, you have speeder bikes.
Sure do.
Nice. What tags do you want to add to things to do with your bonus weapons and or bonus defenses?
I was thinking I'd just add the tag many to my weapons. Like I have a lot of knives.
Yeah. Love that.
Like too many, perhaps.
That's up to you. Listen.
One in each
no
sock,
judgment.
one up each sleeve.
Yeah. No, we can have this scene where you come back in and are asked to give up all your knives and just comically spend half an hour. Hang on.
Precisely.
That'd be great. But that's for later. And did you want to add, let's see, your armor is already tough. You could, was it tough and hardened? No, you could, wait, am I looking at the right one? No.
It's tough and armored.
Tough and armored. We could add hardened because of your defenses.
Sure.
Gives you +1 armor. Love that. Yeah, tough is different. Tough is... Oh, and everyone's outfit gets thermo by default, just like you've been dealing with this for millennia. All your shit's been adapted for sure. Like, you may face some trouble because of that, but like your outfits are definitely designed for it. Cool. That's you, Sheryl, Jordan.
I can go.
Either or.
Okay. So My first character is Lissa. She is probably at least older than Peter's character, because I don't know about Sheryl yet, but is a woman, small, in her 60s, fairly slim. She rose through the ranks of the Institute and completed her education, then climbed up the hierarchy to become one of the top researchers at the Institute. She's taken a couple of trips to the surface for research purposes, but has also realized that the Institute isn't necessarily a benevolent family, and has concerns about what we've gone to the surface for, including some trips that weren't with everybody else.
Love that.
Yeah, I think those are the big things. She's worried because basically civilization probably can't survive without some of the things that the Institute has invented, but with what the Institute's doing, people may not survive much longer.
Since I'm asking everybody these sorts of things, what was your last secret mission? Since you're doing secret missions, apparently, and I don't even know about these.
So one of our, let me look at, I don't remember what we called it on the map.
Go ahead.
Okay. So we're very interested in the secret military research facility.
Oh, hell yeah, that's great for me. Love
that. So we've been trying to check that out, see what's up there, take any interesting and weird things that we can back down to study them, to figure out if something there might have predicted the fall.
Oh, man. All right, love that. Sheryl. Oh, wait, no, hang on. Sorry. We got to gear you up. I blanked on that. So family, you have weird grenades, that's right.
Cool.
Oh gosh, sorry, I clicked the thing. There we go. Perfect. Weird grenades, mobile ICU, plus some scholars. I imagine that's quality 1, which means there's probably just like a guy. Maybe you have an assistant No, hang on. Let's make it 3 grad students.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I thought you all would.
Way close to home, I see.
I was about to say, this family is becoming closer and closer to my actual academic experience.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, this is supposed to be an escape.
Well, we're escaping this pandemic, not grad school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now are you? Now I have so many questions about. Yeah, I just have so many questions about what kind of advisor you are now.
Oh, I don't have a lab. I'm a research scientist.
No, I'm saying in the game, you've got 3 grad students now.
Yeah,
what kind of advisor are you?
That's true. What kind of advisor am I?
I mean, you can find out as we go right now.
Yeah.
Like, see how you interact with them. You
tell your grad students to always stay with a buddy, but since you have 3 of them, one of them's left out.
Love that. Your surpluses are engineering, morale. So you can add a tag or add 1 to your followers' quality. So I don't know, maybe they're better grad students. Don't ask me. They have some really good books. You can give them some really just choice books if you want to add 1 to their quality.
What was the other
option? Add tags to your gear. So your mobile ICU and your weird grenades if you want.
Are the tags of things in parentheses next to this? I'm going to be asking a lot of stupid questions during this whole thing.
No, that's okay. Our viewers probably have to learn a bit too. This game, listen, I need to learn a bit. You know what I mean?
I think I'll go for...
The benefit of learning this game together is that the audience doesn't know when we do something wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there is definitely going to be one person listening who's like, no, I've played this game so many times.
You idiots. Why did you take
I'll just have smarter grad students. I think that's what we're going to do. The grad students will have some special bucks.
You could, I guess you could up their quality to 3 if you're really feeling spicy with both your surpluses. But you could also, that feels like morale. It could be engineering too. You could also make them 3. What the hell?
Okay, yeah.
Unless, cool. Sheryl?
Oh, that's me. I have too many screens.
Yeah, same. It's okay. I've got everyone's thing popped out and it's going bad.
Oh. Yeah, so I'm playing Islae, who, like Ganymede, is fairly young. I have never been to the surface, but I've heard a lot about it from my friend Ganymede. But other people from my family have, so I've heard a lot about it, just haven't been. Islae is vaguely female looking, but mostly presents androgynously, rather rugged military type, lean muscular physique, side buzzed, a little bit of hair on the top so that you can see it's sandy blonde, and just pale gray.
Dynamics.
Yeah. And pale gray eyes that just sort of, miss nothing. Yeah, so that's me. I'm here because Ganymede won't shut up about the surface, and also...
Yeah, what the fuck, dude?
And also because I have sworn to protect... Sorry, Peter, how are you saying your character's name again?
Charon.
Charon. I have sworn to protect Charon, and I'm friends with Ganymede, and also with Lissa. So here I am.
All right. You are the last one to gear up. Let's do it. Well, listen, that's how order works. Somebody has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh.
Don't worry, I don't have coronavirus.
That I don't know what's happening. You got fishing spears. Wait, did it switch yours back?
Oh. Yeah, I know so I have fishing spears, grappling rigs.
Grappling rig, that's right.
Cave octopuses.
Oh yeah, it says cetacean, but we swapped that over for cephalopods.
Are you bringing your cave cephalopods to the surface?
I mean,
obviously.
Do you have one in a mason jar?
That's
because
what I was
a little one in a like.
You can have like an aquarium backpack.
My god!
I want that for you. I want that.
I also want an aquarium backpack.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page. It has like a little kind of opening to the like. Oh, I guess that's going to be a problem if it's like -100, whichever set of degrees you care to use. Maybe it's closed off from the environment.
Yeah, I mean it's protected from the environment.
Option.
Yeah, I can deploy the octopus if so needed.
Exactly.
There's a button.
One of the things that survived the fall is those cat backpacks that have the little window on them.
Yes.
But the supply is running dangerously low, and that's like the real secret reason that you're on this expedition is to find more cat backpacks.
Actually, what's in the secret military facility?
I mean, ulterior motive. It'll be a side bonus. So I have octopus in a backpack apparently. Yeah.
Dang.
So then I can do things using my surpluses, which are scouts and morale. So I think I'd like to use scouts to boost the quality of my cave octopus in the backpack. Octopus in a backpack. And then I would also like to use morale, because our family is not very large, but we are tight-knit and we work together really well.
That's true.
So I like to use that to add many to my fishing spear so that I has more than one in case something happens to it, which inevitably will happen.
No, you don't know that. I mean,
I've been a game master before.
No, that's fair. Listen, now that you've given it that tag, I'd be a fool not to do something to your weapon. But only that's that way you get to use your shit. That's the whole point of this. Is like try and find the shit they do. Anyhow, listen, buy the book if you want to learn how to run this game. Let's so that's everyone's characters. The elevator clinks to a stop. There's kind of a whoosh as things depressurize. Your kind of like cool 60 or so degree Fahrenheit air is onrushed by, like I said, it's -1 of the 100s. It really doesn't matter which. They're both pretty bad. I think Celsius is worse, but it doesn't really matter. It's very, very cold. Although... and it is, in fact, the first thing you'll notice is still night. It seems that you are not looking at the sun right now, which was kind of predicted. it's expected, they think, from when they saw it and observations, that'll probably rise in a couple hours. Right now, you are mostly looking at this cool kind of, I guess you're mostly looking at ice within about 10 meters, which is the range of your flashlights. You're kind of near this site of a massacre that's been picked over. It is kind of, I guess, does anyone's faction have I guess you're probably wanting to head to the secret military research facility, is my guess. Go ahead. Anyone can guide this a bit.
Were we given an explicit goal or task by the overarching council, or are we just kind of they were like, hey, go to the surface, the sun's up?
I can tell you what my goal is.
I think you're roughly all motivated more by your family's goals or your opposition to them than you are necessarily there's the general mandate is to kind of make sure that the sun is in fact there, see what's recoverable, kind of just get an idea of what things look like so you can kind of give a more full scouting report based on this weird new information. But the sun's back. Hey, everyone, the sun's back. Oh, gosh, you guys get to come out of isolation. Isn't that fun? Sorry, am I being too heavy-handed?
No. I mean, so far, being on the surface is exactly how I remember it. So
yeah, no, it is exactly how those of you who have been to the surface remember it. That is a good point to keep in mind.
Now, if this sun thing really does exist, remember, we're not supposed to look directly at it.
Okay.
Well,
says, I guess, one of the guards. So that was in character. Very dismissive. This is from the elevator operators. He does not think your humor is funny. There's a cool faction you guys will meet later. The elevator operators. They have red vests. It's great. Tiny little hats. Anyhow, he did not care for your comment. Yeah, so what are people looking at? Jordan, you kind of mentioned your family is particularly interested in that research facility, and kind of, I don't know that anybody else has tried to steer things in other directions.
I feel like
you're welcome to.
So Charon would have talked to. Sorry, Jordan. What's your character's name again? Lissa. I feel like Charon. I mean, he basically views the other two as kind of guards. You're literally a bodyguard.
I should clarify. Both of you. I should clarify. It's not just the four of you. It's just that you guys are the four cool, important heroes. There's support staff of probably engineers and people like that. Well,
grad students, scouts.
Right, yeah, grad students, exactly. Grad octopi, yeah, sorry, not to interrupt. Just wanted to make that clear.
Grad students are also octopi.
Yeah, a grad student octopi.
My octopus is smarter than your grad student.
Yeah, I was going to say the octopi are actually higher on the academic hierarchy.
Some of them are. Mm-hmm. Listen, if they've got tenure, octopus.
Did you just say Dr. Puss?
I did. That's the sort of quality humor you'll get here.
I'm checking off the dead box now. I have taken so much harm.
Fair. Wait, don't do that. No, harm is bad. You don't want to take harm. That's something that we're gonna have to. I haven't done combat yet, but we're gonna figure this out. I'm pretty sure harm is bad.
Yeah, I mean,
sounds reasonable.
Yeah, I've never played this game before, but I mean that does track with my experiences.
Yeah.
Charon is here by himself. This is a information gathering exploration. I feel like he would have expressed a desire to visit the catacombs to the northwest.
Oh yeah, those were cool.
On the
They're
way,
kind of on the way, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
I love that.
politically, he would have made the argument, let's go to the catacombs to the northwest as we make our way to the abandoned military facility that we want to explore later on.
I mean, as players, you represent the families that kind of set the stakes in this route, so anything you guys can agree on is a reasonable one.
Lissa, does it seem reasonable to try and head to the catacombs, maybe explore them a little bit and use them as a way station on the way to the military facility?
Question, do we know about the biohacked raiders yet?
No, and in fact, I will tell you, they aren't here yet.
Okay, cool.
They'll come around.
Then in that case, I'm okay with it. That makes sense to me. It's very clearly in the same direction. We're gonna have to pass it anyway.
They'll, not to spoil anything too much, but they'll have access to this failed genetic experiment catacombs, and then, oh boy, here we go. That'll be fun. I've got not to. Does anybody else have anything else they want to advocate for before I set you off and have somebody make the appropriate set of rolls?
Oh, those two places sound good to me.
Sweet.
Islae, you're the representative for your people. Does that work for you?
Yes, sorry, I'm trying to fit things on my small desk. I'm sworn to go where you go.
Are you? All right, cool. No, you can be.
Where he personally
I didn't
goes.
know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Me
Yeah,
personally.
cool. All right. That's chill as hell. Who wants to, I guess, be leading the expedition? By which I mean forging a path right now. Which is,
I mean,
I'm the only one who hasn't been up here before, so.
I mean,
I'll give you a hint. It's whoever has the highest force, but like you can also, look for other.
I mean,
this whole game isn't nose goes.
My role that I've chosen for my character is leader. So
okay, I have a force of -1.
Well,
so Jordan should roll.
Yeah, I mean, you can do anything you set your mind to, but certainly
you, Ganymede, come here.
Yeah,
you have the most experience up here.
That's right.
Do you have any objection to being the our goal is to visit the catacombs to the northwest and then onward to the military facility in the mountains. Can you lead us there?
Yes.
All right, do that.
Thanks.
Do I roll force or steel? I can't remember.
It is a force roll. If you grabbed the handout sheets, they've got a nice character moves thing that I'm looking at right now. Otherwise, I'd be completely lost.
Do I have advantage or disadvantage?
Not that I know of, although I don't think you have data or tech to spend. Maybe. I don't even know which one you spend.
The character sheet that has the moves that you're talking about, is that just the top of the character sheet? Where are you looking at? I see like force, steel, lore, and sway.
So no. If you've got the handout sheets, they're in the Discord.
Oh, gotcha. Yes.
Then just below quick character is a set of family moves and character moves, and also the story moves that
awesome.
Very helpful for me. And even like it's a very helpful quick reference. Gang, buy this thing if you want. Sorry, not to shill, but we are playing in this. But... Yeah. Oh gosh, sorry. I should have. I mentioned it, but like not like super quick. Anyhow, yeah, it's very good. I would be completely lost. But yeah, you are doing a forge a path roll. Did you roll yet? No, you haven't yet. Okay. When you're ready.
Sorry, I realized I was on mute.
Oh, okay. I was kind of
I was gonna say Ganymede
this
is
close to saying something.
There we go, I got
uncharacteristically
it.
verbose.
I rolled with
behavior.
force and I got an 8.
Excellent. That's hit. You make the trip. But you got to pick 2 bad things. So let me read the list off for viewers who aren't looking at it. And you, if you don't want to, you get to pick 2. You're exposed to danger. Your route is lost. You can't take it again or find it again at least. Or maybe there's a rock slide. We'll figure it out. You can't take gear/other characters with you. That would kind of be rude, but hey.
Would be rude.
It would be, but like you could. Or you take a lot longer than you expected, which might be fun. Not that I'm trying to whatever. But those are your 4 options, and you get to pick 2. Because you only hit and you didn't do like a critical hit. You could only pick 1.
If we lose our route, we can just find a new route back, or do we?
Yeah, it'll just take a new one of these rolls. Whereas, like, I think if you didn't pick that one, I'd consider it like a reasonably well-trod route that you could just like take back. But that's not too bad, if I'm being honest. Certainly not at this early stage.
Then I guess I'm going to pick, you take a lot longer than you expected, and the route you took is lost.
Oh, hell yeah, which means you get to see, as you trudge across the forgotten wastelands of snow. Well, not snow, really. I guess it would have been far too cold to have precipitated for, like, about a millennia. That's neither here nor there. But it's ice. There's a lot of ice, which starts sparkling as you as the sun starts to rise in the eastern horizon over in the gap between the mountains and the hills. Oh gosh, gang, it's beautiful. I wish I could describe it. Wait, I can't. It's like a sunrise. Oh gosh, the colors, red, it glimmers. Oh,
does that mean the atmosphere is burning? Or are we in danger?
Does it mean the atmosphere is burning? You've heard legends. You've heard legends. Would you like to, I don't know if there's a role. I'm just going to tell you, no, it's not on fire, but your character might worry. You can diffuse with lore if you want to find out. Yeah, it's very pretty, but it's certainly what kind of took I have not set a distance scale whatsoever, and I'm not about to start now. This thing's like a decent amount of squares. It probably was a 6-hour trip. Probably takes you 12 hours because the glare. Oh yeah, the glare. Jeez, gang, the glare. You are not prepared for this glare. I mean, especially in the ice.
Is seeing supposed to hurt this much?
Seeing does hurt a lot. It's the brightest thing any of you have ever seen by like quite a margin. I'm kind of imagining fluorescent lights, very Battlestar Galactica, the kind of Millennium in the Dark that you just emerged from.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think Charon basically watches the sunrise the whole time, and that doesn't even realize until like he glances away, like how much the sun is already above the horizon before he looks away from it, and then realizes like, oh, there's like a spot in my eyes.
Mm-hmm. I told you not to look at the sun.
Wow. I imagine the kind of legends were passed down, like I said, and you probably do have sun visors available. Like that would be.
Yeah, I was going to say, Lissa puts on her Institute-sponsored sunglasses.
Nice. Do they say Institute on the side?
Yes.
You have sponsored sunglasses?
Yep.
Well, they've got like the cool branding.
Yeah, I gotta go take some Instagram pictures for this so that I can post it when we get back down.
Don't forget the duck lips.
Hashtag the sun.
I mean, that's up to you guys. Did Wi-Fi make it? I guess there's probably internet. I don't see why there wouldn't be.
Did
didn't
You
think
don't need
cameras
about
Wi-Fi
that.
to
That's
take, yeah,
wild.
to take a picture.
I
Mine
mean,
are tube
cameras
buddy
are
branded.
very
Not
straightforward
sponsored.
design-wise, and also you definitely need them to like run nuclear reactors as safely as possible if you want. I mean, you can do it without, but cameras help
If
a
you want
lot.
to run them safely.
So I have to imagine the cameras were involved. Managed to stick around. So yeah, take a photo for the gram. Apparently that survived somehow.
How does that, since we don't have the best vision, and like many of us have spent a lot of our lives in dark-ish places, how does it feel?
That's a great question. Certainly overwhelming. Certainly, like I said, that's a lot of why this takes so much longer than expected. Is like you've got all these new and exciting sensations. There's so much that you don't even like know how to track anymore, and like you used to navigate by stars on the daylight world, and that doesn't work right now, which is like wild. You feel a bit lost and disoriented, perhaps. That's probably also why the route is untraceable to you now, is because there is a sun in the sky, which I mean, I have to imagine that like without the sun, the stars are a great navigational tool. So y'all have been using those. That's what I set this kind of 3,000 years in the future. I didn't really specify in the intro, but now you know, dear viewer. So like the constellations wouldn't be too different from today, but they'd be a little different. I don't know exactly how because I don't remember. Somebody could tell you. An astrophysicist. Shit, we should get one of those. Shoot. But so yeah, that's kind of the consequences of that role. Nice, we did it. And we can which brings you guys to what you're now seeing by daylight for the first time, which has got to be weird. The let's say kind of almost Grecian vaults of these failed genetic experiment catacombs, which Peter's faction made happen on the map. They're not like Peter's; they're just kind of like they happen because of his faction. It's cool. So
little behind the scenes there.
Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of oh god, I was imagining moss, but there wouldn't be moss. That's not. It's definitely severely
Ice moss.
frostbitten. Yeah, exactly. I guess because lichens, I guess there would be, wouldn't there? I don't think that those are dependent on the sun. I'm not a botanist or whatever.
Lichens are a symbiotic or a mutualistic relationship between a fungi and an algae. So the algae photosynthesizes to provide energy to the mutualistic organism. So they would need the sun.
So they would need the sun. Damn
Yeah.
it. Is there anything that wouldn't? Like,
Fungi.
Okay, yeah.
Saprophytic organisms that decompose other organic material wouldn't need the sun. But I don't know how much organic material there would be available to them, and like if it's frozen that deep, like their cell walls still wouldn't be able to survive all of that, and like they wouldn't be able to reproduce. So
listen, don't worry about it. We're definitely I've evolved some antifreeze in their vein creatures for this exact thing. They run on antifreeze instead of water. Yeah, I don't think antifreeze wouldn't freeze at this particular temperature either. I don't care. I'm ignoring some of the rules of biology here. I'm so sorry to you, Sheryl, but I do like fungi. We're going to go with fungi. They're eating kind of the rocky material of which this catacomb was formerly built. That way we can have like a cool crumbling columns. Yes, I love this.
And when all else fails,
mushrooms.
Extremophile bacteria.
Mm-hmm. Exact. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thank goodness.
So to be specific, there is actually a third part of that lichen symbiosis. There is a.
I'm liking this explanation.
But I agree with fungi. Do you know there's a fungi that grows on the inside of the concrete dome covering Chernobyl that feeds on the radiation?
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's definitely. That actually, there's definitely a decent amount of radiation going around these days, even without probably the human interference, just because I don't know. Haven't figured it out. But yeah, definitely there's Wait, I'm not even sure. Look, we're building this bridge as we go. That's the whole point of the game. It's very exciting. So yes, we have a fungi and a failed genetic experiment column. Let me see what the.
So is this like a vault that kind of rises out of the ground, like?
Yeah, kind of like
Vault. Wait, the seed vault.
That one. Yeah,
small vard.
Sure. Yeah.
Sheryl is nodding so emphatically. You can also use words, Sheryl, if you want.
You could tell us what it is.
Talk over you every time, but yes, you got it right.
I think you got to talk over one of us, otherwise you don't get to talk.
I can't be like that. Perfect. Which okay. So yeah, it's kind of evolved. I pictured Greek columns just because that aesthetic is cool to me. I think that was why they put them there too. Like, I want to be clear, this had no functional purpose. Like, we're not required to support any structure. They just looked cool. Ain't that humanity, huh?
Ganymede's gonna go shh and put his hand on one of the columns and listen closely, just for theatrics.
No, that's there's probably a move I can give you for that. There's got to be a look around move.
If he's bullshitting, Islae is going to look at him with such a stink face.
Is he bullshitting?
He is.
Cool.
The runes are speaking through me.
Okay, actually,
they want us inside of them.
That's upsetting to hear. Why don't you give me a lore roll, kind of as a diffuse, just to like kind of set the scene for like how
who's rolling?
Much you lore, or possibly lore. I think is right.
You want me to roll lore?
For diffuse, yeah,
or
just to
higher,
assess the situation. Unless.
Roll 10 for lore.
Ooh, there you go. All right. And then
Peter, I see a cat has joined you.
Yes, she will continue to do that. This is my Charon as a cultivator gets a trained attack animal, and that's
it.
She's role playing. It's part of the immersion that we provide here on Nature Check.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. My cats look just like that. They will probably never bother showing up on stream, but we'll see. We got time. Cool. Yeah. Okay. So, how much were you bullshitting with that listening? Because I felt that
Ganymede
kind of
was trying to ascertain whether there was any danger inside of the ruins, like people walking around inside of the catacombs, or if there were signs of other people having been there recently, and there weren't signs of people being there recently, or making any noise or anything like that.
That's, I think, with that roll of a 10.
But he's trying to be funny by pretending that the ruins were speaking to him through the walls, as opposed to listening closely to the situation.
Beautiful. Perfect. Yeah, okay. Well, and however much you feel like admitting it, that, yeah, it seems fairly devoid of activity.
As far as I can tell, we're alone here, so...
Which is cool.
If you and your beetle friend want to come check it out. Unless the beetle has to stay outside. I don't know if there's a no pets policy here.
You know what? There's probably like a locked doorway.
I think
somebody has to get through if we want to.
I've seen one of these before. I think it's called a door.
I mean,
the number one enemy of all role players.
Oh God.
I think perhaps we can deal with the pets policy and the door at the same time. And I'm gonna try and use the head of my mount to force the door open. I assume
we're just gonna rhino it.
Yeah,
like a rhino. Okay, yeah.
I mean, if it's a dung beetle, then it's got it's like a tank. It's built and it's got just like a shovel for a face. So it's gonna just kind of try and hook into it and just kind of rip it open.
Why don't you roll force, but with advantage because you're riding your cool beetle?
Okay.
which is just 3 dice, take the best 2. I haven't tried rolling yet. Is that...
It gives you the option to roll with advantage.
Oh shit, yeah.
And then no modifiers.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
That was with advantage?
Yeah, I got... Wow.
A 2 instead of a 1 on that. All right.
Yeah.
Used up all of the good luck, sorry.
Yeah. Wow. So for everybody listening, I rolled 3 dice and got a 6. So
got a 6.
Mm-hmm. A 6 out of 18. Ugh.
Well, isn't it roll 3 dice, drop the lowest?
Yeah, it is.
Dropped a 1, which, hey.
Yeah, I rolled a 2, a 4, and a 1.
Transport. Oh, wait, you're not. Land in progress. All right. Well, listen, I think I'm going to have to take your mount from you. I'm so sorry.
He dies?
Listen, you rolled a bad, and also bad at the first one.
The book says the game master is allowed to deal as much badness as they want.
You know what? Listen. He loses his horn. All right, let's start. We don't want to get too mean just to start, but like
no, that's
cool horn snaps right off on the face of the door.
Okay, yeah. I leap off of his. Yeah, I leap off of his back and I run around.
A bit
and
too harsh to
he's
start.
like bleeding hemolymph out of the front of his face. I'm
glad you know the word for that.
Rip open one of the saddlebags that I have, and reach inside and I grab this large package I have of like medical supplies. Pull it out and I'm just like this gray powder. Like I have this big plastic bag of it and I just rip it open and like dump it all over his face to like staunch the blow. And like it's like all of a sudden you see just like the hemolymph starts to like congeal to like clot up the...
Why don't you roll? Let me look at your character sheet. Wait, no, that's family.
I'm just figuring since I had med bay as one of my vehicles.
Yeah, Islae.
Yeah, no, totally. I love that. You can definitely use that. Go ahead.
Islae isn't saying anything, but I'm watching this like he's using our medical supplies on a bug.
Yeah,
yeah. I'm also watching this like he had to use all of it. Like,
I mean, yes.
Charon cares more about this beetle than he cares about any of you. We have been together for decades.
Oh, shit.
He wouldn't say that.
Couldn't have. No, listen, I get that. I'm sorry for trying to just like knock out your cool pet turn 1. That's not cool on my part.
Yeah, I can't believe you would do this to.
I know, monster.
Yeah,
bugs can live for decades.
Sure,
I mean,
why
the
not?
Genetically modified giant ones can.
I'm skeptical.
I mean, dung beetles already have a longer lifespan than a lot of other beetles because of their weird, like, sub-adult phase, so take that.
Well, there you go. What's their average lifespan?
So they, their, like, minimum, I guess, would be 2 years because they spend one summer season in this, like, Reifungsfront.
You can't have a minimum lifespan.
Every species is different, Xander.
You don't have to listen to your rules, Xander.
Get out of here, psychologist. Who did their masters on dung beetles? Yeah, they have...
I'm just saying, it's unlikely that it's immortal for the first 2 years of its life.
Okay, fair.
Hey, I'm not a gemologist. I'm intentionally choosing the wrong one, sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, they go through a phase called Reifungsphase, which in German is basically like sub-adult feeding is what the phase is. So like they go through normal like egg, larva, pupa stages like other insects that go through complete metamorphosis, so think butterflies. But then when they emerge, instead of being immediately sexually mature adults capable of reproducing, they're in this like sub-adult phase where they're not sexually mature yet, and they spend more time feeding and getting resources to get bigger and stronger and healthier and whatever, and then they become sexually mature. So they have a little bit of a longer like life arc than a lot of other complete metamorphosis insects do. Yeah.
That sounds like something that like 2,000 years from now we can stick just a lever in the genetic code of and just wrench it wide open. Peter totally has a bug with a human lifespan. What do I care? Let's have fun with it.
So dung beetles are still on the low end. So queen termites could live for 15 years, and there are actually a couple
we're basically there.
And there are a couple of wood boring beetles that develop really, really slowly. That can emerge after 20, 30 years. Basically, they're eating such a low nutrition food in wood that
It's
it takes
probably
them.
not yours.
They just stay under the wood for like 30 years. That does sound pretty boring.
Yeah.
Almost like quarantine.
That one hurt. Give me a lore roll.
Boring.
with
Oh
advantage for
God!
your
I can't believe it
cool-
took me that long to.
Yeah, no, that was rough. Give me a lore roll with
You're off the
advantage so
show,
we can all
Xander.
move on from this. Horrible thing.
Who's
that
rolling
just
the lore? I'm
happened.
sorry, is that me?
No, Peter, the shepherd.
okay.
Sharon? Sharon? How were you pronouncing it?
Charon.
Charon, right.
That's a.
Like
Sorry,
the moon.
it's spelled
No,
CH.
same.
Yeah, the moon, like the boatman on the river Styx. Like it's a Greek
whichever.
hard K sound.
Charon. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Those dang Greeks.
Oh no, I've lost the roll 20. Where is it? Oh, there it is. I'm rolling lore.
Yeah, give me that lore.
That sweet lore.
Well, yeah.
I actually have a modifier for that, so I get a +1. Oh, that's an 11.
11.
Oh, we're minning and maxing today, huh?
Apparently.
That's how I
good
do.
work, you. Successfully heal your beetle. Mark, you're no longer prepared medicine-wise, just the other thing, food-wise. Congrats, I guess. You saved your beetle. I mean, that's a win. I think we can all agree that's a win.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool beetle. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it has a name, I guess. I don't
Uh-huh.
actually know if
Probably
that's true.
can't horn
Yeah, it's,
for a few
Charybdis.
days. Charybdis.
Seriously?
Not remember
Is
that.
that
Nice.
like a Greek thing? Are
Yeah,
you being...
Yeah.
it's the
All right.
whirlpool in the Odyssey.
Ah!
Oop,
I love
my
that.
English major is showing.
I
No,
just
it's
want
chill.
everyone to know that Xander is the one that started this Greek mythology thing by naming his character Ganymede, and now I'm just like going with it.
It's okay. I named a character you'll run into later. I named him Pluto. So that's fun.
That
it a
does not
dog?
bode well.
No, it's
Yeah,
chill. He's
dog.
the head of the nuclear engineering faction.
Oh, he's not the god
Just
of death.
like
That's good to
Pluto.
know.
Yeah, isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Pluto, Plutonian. I thought that was clever. But we're not there yet. Right now, we're trying with this door. Peter just ran his bug into it for some reason, and then like its horn snapped off, so he healed it. So that's kind of good. Win-loss.
Can we
You're
like
kind of,
look
you know,
at the
it's
door
kind of.
and see what kind of door it is
Yeah.
to like develop a
Um,
strategy for opening the door instead of just like running into it?
I was gonna say,
Let's.
did he push instead of pull? Like, what's up?
Yeah, given that failed, I'm gonna
theory.
say that it had like a gigantic turn wheel on it that's kind of stuck when you go at it. So you know, you definitely do still have something ahead of you, but it wasn't a bug problem. But had that worked before we described the door, it would have been a door that busts right in. Like, I want to be clear.
I want to apologize
with your
to
roll.
everyone. I've been raised to believe that every problem is a bug problem. And so perhaps one of you has a better suggestion for how to open this door.
So
What if-
you said there's a turn wheel on it?
Did we try to turn it?
Yeah, and let's say a keypad, which may or may not be related. Just kind of give you some options in terms of how you feeling.
Can we try to turn the wheel? Can I try
Yeah,
to turn
absolutely. Yes. Give me force. That's a
the wheel?
force
That will
roll.
probably go badly for me, but
I mean, that's fine. Listen, the worst case is that you roll a 6 and then I get to do something bad, and that's
Then he
fine.
kills your bug.
I almost kill your bug.
Peter wasn't
Yep,
already
I rolled a
drinking,
one.
you'd have given him to drink by now.
Oh, thank
That's
goodness. No, all right. I mean,
Whoa, that's a... Wait a minute.
I have
Wait
a
a minute.
modifier.
I thought it was
minus
2d6. How do you roll a 1 on 2d6?
one. I rolled 2 2s minus 1.
yeah, that makes
Or
sense.
sorry, 2 1s minus 1. Math is hard.
Oh,
Pretty
no.
bad.
Oh
That's
my
about as
goodness.
bad as-
Literally the worst you could
Literally the
roll.
worst. Well, no, you could get a
Shit.
0.
I didn't really have.
Wait, you'd have to have a
consequence.
-2 to
No,
get a 0.
yeah.
I'd have
Or
to-
we can look up the rules for assisting with a roll, because I think there's a way to bump it up to the next category if someone else succeeds on a roll.
Yeah, I was going to there. I mean, but like you can
No,
bump it
but
up
you
to the
get a
next
hernia
category.
first.
Yeah, but like there's
hang
no
on,
way to
let's
bump that. Like it would
mark
get
a harm
bumped up
box.
to a.
I think the first one's not
To a
a
mixed success?
problem.
Lissa throws at her back.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was about to
exactly.
say, I'm an old woman.
Should not have tried that, but I respect the effort.
I
But
feel like Islae and Ganymede are like looking at the two old people trying to open the door, like, just like with our arms crossed, like looking at each other, looking at the door, looking at the old people, looking at each
the
other,
grad
looking
students
at the door.
are kind of looking around like, what the fuck is going on?
I like that we're
You
both
do
like,
have an
so-
unlimited number of fishing spears
That's true. I
and
should have made
knives.
my grad student.
An unlimited number of fishing spears and knives. Nigh unlimited. Let's be fair. You can't.
ooh,
She's
I
video game pockets, keep pulling them out of everyone.
Yeah.
now I'm
No,
imagining
listen.
you were like, hey, grad student, go open that door, and the door was like electrified, and it just like just dies.
Well, before
But as scientists, we must replicate our results, and then you tell another grad student to
That
go
is
open
the
the
point
door.
of grad students.
Yeah, we
Well-
just got to keep going through the grad students until the door opens.
Oh,
There's
no.
only so much capacity that could be in those batteries.
before Lissa
So true.
hurt her back, I was going to suggest putting my fishing spear through the wheel and using it as leverage, presuming that the wheel is probably stuck because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
old.
Yeah, that was my assumption too, but we'll see what succeeds in opening it. Yeah, give it a go.
Okay.
Roll with force with somebody who has a good force roll, I think. Right?
That would be
Yours
me.
is-
Do I get advantage for using a tool, or am I just rolling straight?
Absolutely. Yeah, no, you got a tool. It's all about finding ways to leverage the things you have, in this case quite literally, but like that's very much the
That's an
all
11.
right, yeah, you're going
Ooh.
11.
Oh no, it's a 1 again, but this time there's 2 of them.
It's twice as
So the door
bad.
opens.
I
Yeah.
was not expecting a door to be this big a deal, but
I-
here we are.
I said doors are the enemies
you warned
of
me.
every RPG.
You
group.
warned me.
But yeah,
I
after
fucked
looking
up.
at each other for a minute, I like very like completely stone faced like walk over and put my spear into the wheel and just like
You dumbasses. I assume you give them the look. Do you give them the look? That's important to me.
no,
right now.
I don't.
No,
she
excellent.
is very like
Even just
military
nonchalant
regimented.
it,
She
that's-
just like spins the wheel, pulls the spear out, and steps back. Like
Really, just
mechanical.
kind of. I love that. It's showing off in the coolest possible way. All right, well that door is open, gang. There's shadows again. Isn't that exciting? Because there's a sun. So you got. Well, there were shadows in your flickering fluorescence. Like I said, I'm sure you could have had cooler lights, but I just can't picture cooler lights in an underground nuclear-powered metropolis. You know what I mean? Like, you could probably have had CFC. I don't know. Anyhow, it's not important. What are we doing? You've got
Just
a
candles.
door. Kind of. You see mostly the bunch of kind of pods, you know, like those cool bioreactor pods, like from all the sci-fi horror. Most of them are broken. A few of them are glowing. Actually, none of them are glowing. No, one of them has the light on. Sorry. No, it's very important. It's like green. There's some kind of weird stuff floating in at least 3 of them, let's say. Yeah, that's pretty exciting for you guys. What do you want to do?
Wait, so what does a thrown out back mean, like, functionally? Like,
So what's haven't looked at
like, is
your-
that harm or is that like?
Yeah, I was gonna say, just because you rolled a really, really bad roll, why don't you
Does that
put
mean that my
one on your
aura
harm
glitches?
box? Apparently that's a glitching aura, which
What's a glitching?
I don't even
aura?
know what that
What does
means.
that mean? Yeah,
You have an aura?
cool.
If you
No,
have an aura, it's
That's
glitch-
cooler.
Oh,
My
you've
aura has been
got-
glitching.
Probably not the
months now.
neuropsychological definition of aura. It's probably the metaphysical definition of aura. Is my guess.
Yeah, I just have migraines now.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
That energy projector thing. So like I could see it kind of glitching a little bit in terms of higher step. But yeah, some migraines too, probably. I don't know. It's a box of harm. That's what you get for throwing your back
Well, I
out.
get migraines after I check the 3rd box.
Oh, okay. Is that what it is? I don't. Yeah, I guess if there's no harm, there's no migraines, huh? Or no stat loss. That can't be bad enough to be a migraine. But hey, here we are. You've got bubbling. keep saying bioreactors, but like that's an entirely different thing. I used to actually briefly, this is a complete aside, work on bioreactor stuff for a little bit, which was pretty cool. I was doing farm. Anyhow, neither here nor there. But they're like bubbling, like the one Luke's in or the one Goku's in or any of those other numerous sci-fi bubbly pods in the various sci-fi properties. Yeah, what do you guys want?
So we're in this. It's basically a long hallway with these pods on either side.
Yeah, I'm picturing kind of, let's see, 30 meters. That's a pretty long dang hallway with like a pod every 5 meters, kind of figure about, oh gosh, I know. Few to 6 feet across, I guess.
So like
meters.
Matrix style, like.
Yeah, exactly. Very kind of stuck in, except most of them are of course broken because like it's been a fucking millennium. Although there's definitely there's still one with a green glowing light in it, but whatever kind of weird, probably like bad cow fetus, like they tore around in that one episode of Firefly or whatever. I am making too many references. I apologize. We'll get better.
Oh, I love a good Firefly reference.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, excellent. I'm glad.
I'm sorry if you're watching a role playing game stream and you're not the kind of person that has seen Firefly already. Like,
it's weird.
Re-examine your life.
Also, is there such thing as a bad Firefly reference?
No. I mean, it's what it is. But
can I roll Unearth Forgotten Lore?
Yes, I love that. I was looking for a move that fit the situation, but couldn't figure it. Roll that one. What is it?
So I roll plus lore, and if I succeed, I get to ask a question, and I'm planning on asking where is it drawing power from?
Yes, that's perfect.
Because of the green light. And the cow fetus, apparently.
And,
unless that was an example.
That's probably one of the broken reactors, but it definitely doesn't seem like a worthwhile genetic example to you, Peter, who knows things about this sort of thing.
You say it does not seem like one?
Not necessarily. Like, it's this old world genetic material, which may be pre-fall genetic material, which may be worth whatever it is to you.
I got a super success.
But it's not, like, novel. Oh, nice. Oh, hell yeah. 12. I don't think that's different from a 10, but it's still very good.
On a 10, I get to ask 3 things?
Ask 3, yeah.
And I get 1 point of data. This is going well. Sorry for using up all the good luck, everybody.
Hey, somebody's gotta.
I have a +1 to lore, so.
I mean, genuinely, like, half of, like, being up, like, this game well and powered by the apocalypse is just doing the things your character's good at and not doing the things you're bad at. Or at least trying to avoid it very hard.
We all lived our lives a little bit more like that.
Well, here I am directing 12-tone videos, so I'm glad we didn't do it too much. Listen.
So many plugs for 12-tone. It really is a good channel, though.
It's fine.
12-tone, what's that?
Oh, God, we're not doing this. It's good. I love it. Watch it if you want it, but you got a good lore roll. Ask me some questions.
So I'm going to ask, where is it drawing power from?
Downstairs.
Okay.
Specifically at the end of the hallway, you see much smaller than the cool elevator you came up in, like, but what you assume to be an elevator door, or a pair of elevators, rather.
Is the elevator operator also smaller?
You don't see. The doors are closed.
You can't have an elevator without an elevator operator.
To the best of your knowledge, certainly. Yeah, no, it would be wild if these elevators were operatorless, but we'll see. You guys gotta open. Oh no, I've put more doors. I am a fool.
I feel like at this point I would be worried if there were an operator for this elevator.
Actually, you know what? One of them doesn't have a door and is just like dark, empty shaft.
The other one has a cow fetus in a yellow or orange vest with a little teeny hat on top.
No.
Oh God.
That's the best NPC.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Young Justice? It's nothing like that. There are pods though in that particular show. Anyhow, and kind of there's a bunch of cables that kind of on each side of the room, because there are pods on your left and pods on your right. Wires from each of them kind of lead towards the back. And you
Sheryl,
kind of...
are you dancing to the pods on your left, pods on your right?
Maybe.
Are you?
I want to know what tune went through your head when you heard
that. Jimmy Buffett, right? I don't remember exactly which one, but I know it's a Jimmy Buffett song that... to my left, something to my right. I don't. This is nothing. I'm so sorry. Give me another question. We'll get through this together, gang, and probably take a bio break soon.
All right, another question is, how can I turn it to my advantage? So how can I use this area to my advantage for my family?
Let me take a look at your family's needs, because you need some stuff. In particular, recruits, leadership, and transport.
You can ride the cow fetus.
Probably can't ride a cow fetus, but you suspect that...
that's what my people are going to do. We're going to take that cow fetus and we're going to use it to improve our mounts.
Bring cows back, actually. Bring back cows.
Hashtag bring back cows.
Vertebrate.
Bring back.
Yeah, eating vertebrates, that seems disgusting to me.
Let's not go there. Can we
weird.
please not go there? I spend so much time on my channel not going there.
That's what it is. Listen, this is the far future. People eat bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you have a YouTube channel too? What's it called?
What?
Stop
that.
We
did that in the intros.
Every single person here works on a YouTube channel.
Yeah. It's good. I suspect your best avenue here vis-a-vis your needs is probably I think you could either resolve recruits by turning
cow fetuses.
Yeah, recruiting by using the prestige gate, by coming back prestigious basically, or leadership by being depends how you spin it, coming back basically. But I think kind of a successful mission will, if you play it right, can get you recruits or leadership.
Okay, that makes sense. And then my final question is, what dangers is it hiding?
Oh, that is a great question. In fact, that'll be really
Here's
cool
poisonous, everybody out.
No, what? Well, you hear from the open door with the elevator shaft as you peer down into it, since I think the move implies you're looking around. You hear some skittering. Gang, you hear some skittering. Let's take a bio break. That's a cool cliffhanger. What do you say? Give it like 5, gang?
Dun dun dun. Yeah. Thanks to everybody. Oh, there was one cool question from the chat. Since you were mentioning snow earlier.
Sure.
Sarah observed that erosion of ice would probably create a snow-like powder on the surface.
Oh shit!
It wasn't.
Yeah,
it was kind of it was phrased like a question, but I think it's a good observation that yes, erosion from the wind would. Well, I suppose we can get into an argument of whether or not there was wind. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't wind partly powered by the sun?
Yeah, but there's atmosphere and
joke.
Still thermal differences. But... No, you're right. It is. There's definitely going to be we can do some stuff. No, I mean, listen, I've been poking at this scientifically a little, just like with the sun going out and back on what happens, because like I'm trying to ground this a little bit in the science for Sheryl.
It's not just for me.
Not just for Sheryl. That's true. But I think you probably still, because wind is more, it's powered by the sun in its magnitude, but it's kind of happening is powered by thermal differences or pressure differences, which are caused by thermal differences. And I think those still exist, especially over the compressed oceans, which also there's still kind of going to be hydrothermal vents that are deep down, not frozen over, just like we suspect on Europa, I think. So that's cool. Anyhow, see you back here at 5:30 my time, but you all are on different time schedules.
So yeah. And thanks for everybody who's watching and chatting. We'll see you in a few minutes.
Welcome back, listener.
That was
Sorry.
great.
It was. Welcome back, dear listener. No, I can't. So yeah, we left off. You were facing some skittering. There was some skittering. Gang, this place holds some danger. That was the question I was answering. Is what dangers does it hide? There's some skittering. You think? I mean, you don't know for sure, but it's probably some sort of bug.
Hey guys, that elevator shaft is making a skittering noise, and I don't know why, which is why I'm gonna go stand over there.
Over where, to clarify?
Behind the grad students.
Oh, away from
Yeah.
the elevator shaft. Yeah.
You're our like strong fighty guy with the many knives.
It's a
Common
lot of
misconception.
knives.
I hate confrontation.
Wait,
I mean, you can do it.
How big
Go
is
ahead.
this room and how many people from our party are in it? Like, is it just us or is it like everybody?
I guess I was making some assumptions here, but you could certainly tell anybody to stay out. But I was about 30 meters long. I don't know. It's more corridory, so there's probably room to walk 2 to 3 people abreast, between the two sets of kind of back to tanks or whatever non-trademarked thing that is you'd like to imagine instead of that. Remember, do not imagine it as a trademark property or they will come for me.
They're coming for your imagination.
Yeah, right. No. But yes, I kind of had pictured probably Ganymede had gone in. I don't necessarily, because I think he had to answer the questions as I gave him. I don't.
Was I like, everybody stay here, I'm going to take a look around?
That's
Well, I
up
got
to
good
you.
news and
That's-
bad news.
That's a
Good
good
news
question.
is I figured out where the power is coming from. The bad news is it's skittering.
That's a good
Skittering,
question.
is that some kind of...
And then I try to replicate the skittering noise with my mouth, and I'm like, does that sound like a bug to you? You're the bug expert. Is it like, those are bug legs, right?
Sure, yeah, that's a pretty accurate bug leg impersonation. Yeah, sure. For the medium-sized creatures. I mean, nothing the size of Charybdis out there makes any sound like that. In fact, the
What do
early
large ones
generations
sound like? Just wondering.
Good instinct to cut
Even
him off
if
when he
they're, like,
starts monologuing.
Millipedes? Like giant ice millipedes? Giant armored ice millipedes? What would those sound like?
Whoa,
Just
whoa, 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 whoa.
nothing.
What do you want me to do?
I'm
Just Foley
curious.
work?
Yes, obviously.
All right.
It's like a Bahir, but not D&D. Holy smokes.
No, I'm just one.
Just hypothetically.
It sounded.
I'm gonna
big,
go with like
is
a
really all I'm trying to say. It's like that.
Something like that.
That's what you heard.
The ice millipedes have
Thanks,
many,
Peter.
many large snowshoes.
You've seen some shit up here. That's all I'm saying.
So wait, that's what it sounds like? Okay.
It sounds big. Yes.
Is
Okay,
there
well, I threw my back out, so I'm not going down the empty elevator shaft.
does it sound like it's coming up the elevator shaft, or is this just like
Lives
did
down
he
there.
just do a like kind of sounding
Yeah,
listen?
he leaned over and listened.
It didn't sound like it was getting any closer, but
It didn't sound
What do
like
I
it was
know?
necessarily getting further away either.
If they are ice millipedes, that would be an invaluable genetic specimen to the shepherds.
You've seen glimpses of them before on the surface. Never enough to like take one home or anything like that, but like
Yeah,
you
but
need this
sometimes
special
in the dark.
hook, and you have to hook it and then jump on top of it and ride it, and never mind.
Unless
we should
Dude,
say ice
anyone do?
millipedes. They
No.
have legs and they're in the ice. Cheryl.
I think we should ask about what
you
their
make my
diet is, so
subtext
we can
text
build a
that I have
full,
nothing.
like food web
Sorry, go
for
ahead.
this ecosystem.
I'm so sorry, Xander. I was yelling. Would you?
I was gonna say I think we should ask what the millipedes eat, so we can build a food web for this ecosystem.
Smart.
Grad students.
It's a great question. Grad students.
Would you like me to roleplay as one of the grad
The
students?
grad students are what the millipedes eat, or the grad students are the ones building the food web? I'm confused.
Both.
Oh, I
and
thought
I think
they
the grad
were-
students should be named
Oh.
Hermione, Ron, and what was the other one?
Jerry.
Edward.
That feels right. Dawn. All right, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. Are you trying to find out what they eat? How would you like to do that?
Well, the only thing we've seen down here is the mushrooms, right? The
Mhm.
fungus that's growing. I guess I want to look at the mushrooms and see if they've been fed upon.
All right. I don't necessarily think that we need to do another forgotten lore thing here, because I mean we already just unearthed this landmark and don't necessarily have a second thing. Yeah, they look fed upon. Probably by smaller insects. You imagine ice mites, maybe? I don't know. That sounds real.
It might be
I mean, those would be
mice.
those wouldn't be insects; they'd be arthropods, or they'd
Oh,
be
okay.
arachnids. But
I defer to you. Thank you. What's the difference? I actually don't know.
Number of
I'm
legs,
sorry.
number of
I know
body
we're
segments.
not. Thank you. Cool.
Mike-
Yeah, they're more arthropods. What you said.
Wow, I'm Charon is really impressed that he can tell the difference between mite feeding and insect feeding.
You.
But
Sorry.
Don't
no, he's like
You're an expert.
no, he's like nodding to himself, and he's like, "God damn, I'm smart.
Wow. I'm really good at this.
I'm
just
really good at this."
really,
I mean, it
really
probably has
good
to do with the
In my
fact that
own mind.
my ancestors have spent the last 4 generations breeding giant insects. I mean, obviously I would know this, but still, it's really
You
impressive.
suspect
Everyone, I would like you to know that there is the
that
possibility
starts with this fungus.
of large mites here feeding on the fungus.
But it's not really a certainty. It's more of a might. There might be mites.
I already said that, but okay.
I just wanted to hammer it home. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we really didn't get it until you said it a second time.
Sick burn,
All right,
Jordan.
so,
Yeah.
gang. now that we're really just stewing in this, what do you want to do? Anyone, anything.
in the midst of all of
Save
this,
me.
I've got my spear out and I'm just sort of like making my way in that direction. Not like super fast or whatever, just, doing my sentinel thing, I guess.
Okay. You're kind of looking to just like stand sentinel, as it were.
I guess, sorry, I'm looking down at my thing and trying to figure out what to do.
No, go ahead.
So I feel like this might be a cool moment to make use of Citadel of Dust, and
Ooh.
perhaps figure out a way to make some sort of protection for us here and lure the thing that's skittering up out of the shaft to the battleground that we choose, and then get rid of it, and then we can go down the shaft to see what else fun is around here.
That sounds really exciting. All right. I guess you don't need to roll anything to set up that. You get to hold 3 and you get to spend it to do the things. You can tell the group about it when it comes up. It looks very cool.
Awesome.
Excuse me, but you've like trapped it up and I don't know, probably brought some bags that you fill with snow or the like ice dust that's snow like we discussed. Thank you.
Or even you said
didn't.
there's a lot of these pods that aren't really functional anymore. Are they attached to the floor, or is that something that we could push to make a barricade of sorts that we could?
They're probably attached, but a good lever could probably get them unattached. Let's say, and since we're using that thing, let's do it. Yeah, you could probably kind of set up barricades of sorts.
Yeah, so basically I'd like to make some sort of like bivouac protected area, and then we as a group can figure out how we might want to lure said assumed dangerous thing to this area so that we can deal with it.
Let's get the bad ideas out of the way first. I'm thinking we could slather ourselves with barbecue sauce.
Mm-hmm. Did you bring barbecue sauce?
Yeah, I was about to say, do we have that?
I thought there was a food surplus. Isn't there the food surplus from the shepherds?
Peter, did you bring barbecue sauce?
Is the food surplus specifically barbecue sauce?
We have
surplus barbecue.
You don't dip your bugs in barbecue sauce before you eat them?
If you're going to sell your product, you're going to have to sell something to make it taste better too.
The shepherds only eat an Eastern Carolina style barbecue sauce, so it's a vinegar based, very.
You had to choose barbecue sauce.
Okay, excellent.
Sorry.
No, it's good to know. All right, any other ideas? Are we using the barbecue sauce? You could use your food resource, and I guess it could be barbecue sauce. I don't hate that as an idea. I do hate that as an idea, you know what I mean, but we
can always try the dangle a graduate student down the elevator shaft idea.
We could certainly see what the grad students can bring together, yes. Put them on the task. I don't know. Up to Jordan. They're her grad
Don't we have
students.
some weird grenades? Couldn't we try lobbing some of those?
Can I throw a grenade
there are
down an
weird
elevator shaft?
grenades. Yes, you fucking can. Oh, I love this.
Yeah.
Let me look at
Should we protect ourselves first? Before I start
probably.
Wait, how the one active tank, how close is it to the opening to the shaft? Because Charon is still really interested in possibly trying to salvage this cow fetus.
Well, if I'm throwing a grenade down the elevator shaft, then
the shaft is
okay, right?
significantly larger, I will say, than the grenade's blast radius, which I'm imagining because I've played a lot of fantasy role-playing games to be about 20 feet, because that's anyhow. And they're aberrant. Which what did they use again? Did we decide? They used something other than than kinetic force, so sound waves, sonic, I get radiation. Ooh, that's fun. I don't know how you do that as a grenade though. It's kind of wild. It would linger. But what psionics I'm not allowing. That's not real. We're not doing psionics in this world. Because none of you picked a psionic family, so I don't have to make it real.
Hot take: psionics are broken in every role-playing game ever, and nobody should be using them because they're huge.
No, it's
when you said weird grenades, I was thinking anti-grav for some reason, some kind of
Well, that would bring the bugs to us, which I think was our goal.
Yeah. That would also be an extremely specific grenade. Are all of my grenades anti-gravity?
Do you want to be or you could be the green arrow of grenades. That sounds wild. I'm sorry. I love it. Hang on. No, I love it. Okay, you're the green arrow of grenades. Let's do this. Do you want to have a specific grenade for the situation? Let's. You should probably.
Can my other grenades do other things?
Yeah, as long as they stick within the aberrant tag, so it's not conventional explosives or whatever. Probably not.
Okay.
That could be fire. I don't know. That's an option.
I'm down for an anti-gravity grenade then.
That sounds so good. But let's, because you work for the cool institute that knows shit. Although at the moment they don't know that much. I think is their current. Yeah.
Yep.
They have a need for knowing stuff, but that's fine. Neither here nor there. Yeah, you can throw a grenade.
What do I roll for that?
That's a great question. I'm gonna go with this. From the moves, it looks more I think diffuse than it does fiercely assault necessarily. Because you don't necessarily know where any of them are or if this will hurt them. You're just trying to grab their attention, so you're not going at them.
Wait, but which thing do I roll?
Oh gosh, you get to choose, don't you? Well, I'd say probably either steel or oh, hang on, steel lore because you're using technology. Force because you're using kind of like grenades, or I'd say steel kind of because that's like dexterity-ish or like action. So whichever of those makes sense to you.
I'll go steel, I guess, because that's, well, I have positive modifiers on.
Yeah, no, you pick the good
Not
one.
force.
That's what I was telling you.
Not force.
Those are the three you can pick for whichever one's best is probably what you should roll. I just like
Cool. Standard
because
roll.
diffuse has a lot of diffuse you can kind of diffuse in however you're trying to diffuse it, you know.
Oh, I rolled a 5. Damn.
Oh well,
I'm
that's
really picking up
bad.
the bad rolls today.
I think you got their attention, says somebody. It's not like overplayed. It's cool because like it's a really old reference now. It's like retro. God.
Wait. Did we put up the shield thing or whatever?
Yeah, Sheryl
Okay.
or the Ripple Islae?
The Ripley one.
Right?
Islae.
Islae.
Islae,
Yeah. Islae. Hell yeah. Like the Scotch. Maybe.
But spelled different.
Put up the spell different. Put up the cool defensive area.
Okay, cool.
So like you've got its attention, but at the same time, you know, you are at least bringing its attention to this cool place. But I think just because you rolled a 5, it comes in from an unexpected direction. You know,
it comes in through the same door that we just came in through that we took all that time to open. It's
Fuck!
like, hey guys.
Finally,
And then we're
on the wrong side of the
Totally
Midwest.
turns around.
We do
No!
the Scooby-Doo thing, and we're like, shh. Wait a minute. Who are you?
You probably are
Comes up the other
somewhat.
Built a wall.
I was figuring.
Well, how fast can you unbuild it?
You're just gonna get to
I
the
think
other
you
side of
probably have
it.
to-
Give me
Yeah,
another one of
hop
those
it.
grenades.
I was figuring through the floor, and I think probably on the wrong side of the barricades for you for now, just because like you did roll a 5. That's a bad number.
It comes from an
so-
unexpected direction. It just bursts out of Ganymede's chest.
I was waiting for that.
puts us in another tense situation that we could either try to defuse or somebody could just like go at it with their weapons and fiercely assault it. But of course you do exchange harm, and that's not great for you necessarily.
So it's really bursting up out of the floor at us?
In fact, I should describe better. I was just trying to figure out how
Paint us a
the
word picture.
5 played. Yeah, let's paint a word picture. So you've got this, I think,
Happy little monster.
Yeah.
tiled kind of sort of kinetic, ceramic floor that probably kind of matches, at least in its aesthetic, the cool columns that are just to look cool. Again, whoever built this had like a weird obsession. Listen, how it's gonna be in the Wasteland, because I've played Fallout and watched Mad Max. There's just gonna be aesthetics for no goddamn reason. But you've got the kind of tiled floor, and the ones near your feet, because I think so actually, sorry, let me ask you first. So when you throw a grenade in the shaft and then you hop back on the other side was the plan? Okay. Then I think, attracted by that run it, or the hop in particular, the floor tiles right near you erupt with a about human-sized kind of around like angry armored millipede. You've again, Peter, seen this shit a couple times in the distance. I guess no, do millipedes have like pincers, right? It's angry.
Okay.
This one does. It's like a combination of some shit. Listen,
If you made it a centipede,
like
it
an
would have
ice
angry
beating.
chilicery.
Oh, would it? Okay, thank you. It's one of those instead.
Oh,
Pretend I
yeah.
said that. Yeah.
Charon totally thought it was a millipede earlier based on the sound of the feet.
You
But
dumb.
yeah, like
Boy,
the
that's like on your
second I see
face.
it, I realize, I mean, good thing I didn't say millipede. Like everyone would be really.
That would have been really, yeah.
Yeah.
Dodge that bullet. All right. So yeah, this is. You've got an angry centipede. Thank you. Popping out of the floor, trying probably to. Actually, there's I think one right now. You kind of hear some more probably behind in the tunnel. The skittering doesn't seem like just one.
So we hear it in the elevator shaft, or we hear it kind of under this
kind of
one. That's...
Probably, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Falling behind in the same tunnel you suspect right now. You got
Perfect.
one, you can assault it, you can defuse the situation. Somebody do something. Oh
I
my
would
gosh.
like to spend one hold to
spend a
blunt
hold.
an enemy assault, stopping it in its tracks. I would like to break this one, ideally killing it so that it's blocking the hole it just burst.
Yeah, that. Listen, you've got your hold. How do you do that? You probably have to set this up in advance in some sort of a way, but that.
Well, I mean, it's
go ahead.
it's like like sticking out of the floor, right? So I guess I'd like to come down on it with my weapon, crack, and just like try to kill it, but like in such a way that it's like folded in, and because like it didn't really. Did it burst the floor a lot more?
No, not yet.
Or like, okay, yeah. So then I basically
it's starting to, but like I'm giving you time to act before like this is in media res.
Yeah.
Bullet time now.
So yeah, so I want to make its dead body plug the hole to give us time to exit gracefully.
Okay, cool. Yeah, definitely. That works great. You scramble over, mark that hole down, or just note it. I don't know how, strictly this will keep happening. But that gives you time before two more burst out on the side that is now on the other side of the bulwark. I forget what you said. The thing. The blockade.
97 more and we'll have a dollar-peed.
Yeah. But there's two more. You think that's probably not quite it. There's still some skittering from the tunnel. I'm just doing waves, gang. Listen, I don't know how to do this yet.
It's like a tower defense game. It's totally fine.
Exactly. There's going to be a boss at the end of this.
So is our goal to go down the elevator shaft?
I think Peter wants that. There's a power source down there. That seems cool for some of you. They're bugs, Peter. You're muted?
Yeah, I want the bugs.
Muted?
Like, that's what I want. I want this, like... I want live bugs would be best. Dead bugs is okay. I'm not interested in the power source.
Are you suggesting a rodeo in order to get one of these alive, or?
Yeah, I was about to say, so are we like wrangling?
Are
I
you?
mean, ideally, we'd be finding like a giant nest made out of eggs and feces downstairs with a centipede wrapped around it, doing maternal care. But
maybe
that was highly specific.
I mean, I'm just describing maternal care in centipedes.
Yeah,
which
no,
is a thing. Yeah,
listen, I absolutely had already planned that, so I'm glad you read my mind. I did. There's a big one in the basement. Wasn't the only thing I'd had prepared so far. So
yeah, I figured if I said it out loud, it would remind you that was something.
Yeah,
yeah.
No, but I mean, genuinely, that's one of the things I like about this system is it's a lot more. It's very collaborative in this sort of level. Go ahead. Are you doing something about this to try and capture one, or are you just excited about this?
That was a no on capturing the big ones, huh?
Yes.
These big ones. There's a bigger one in the. There's not a bigger one in the basement. I'm sure.
Charon is standing behind Islae. Like that is like his thing right now. He's not getting into physical combat right now.
I'm going to say knife to meet you and throw one of my knives to try to pin one of the other two. What What are they called? Chiropractors? Try to pin one of them to the wall.
I can't believe you're
Centipedes.
bringing
I
that
totally
back.
like the word centipedes. I'm not even
Acupuncture.
joking. I forgot the word centipedes.
Do you do that
No,
in
I-
every role-playing game? He did this in the last game we played together. He had a catchphrase, like a different one for every time he used his weapon.
No, that I'm into it. We're gonna make chiropractor centipedes now. It'll be fine.
Oh no.
No, don't worry. We're not actually doing that. That's a
Don't say
Maybe
no,
we'll
Lissa. You
see.
hurt your back before. This is the perfect opportunity.
that's true. This
Yeah, I'll wait until we get back down, given that according to the
valid.
manual, this can be solved by a long rest. So
Can I roll with advantage since I'm behind the barrier and grad students?
Uh,
Or did they
So,
come around the barrier? Actually,
are you just hunkering everyone? Is that the plan to kind of let the barriers do the work for you? Or that's fine. You can do that. Particularly if Sheryl wants to spend another hold, which is probably fine. There's.
I don't
3
understand what
waves.
you mean by spending a hold. What does that mean?
So
No,
basically,
listen,
I have like the holder like points, I guess. So Citadel of Dust says that when you take time shoring up defenses, placing traps, and scouting the local area, you get 3 hold. And when you're under assault in that area that you prepared, you can spend 1 hold at any time too, and then there are 3 choices. So I spent
Okay.
1 hold to do one of those choices. Yeah.
Hold's kind of like tokens in magic. That it doesn't mean much on its own. You accept that it can be spent according to how it was earned. So, like for instance, if Sheryl's cool move is that if her character spends time setting up a place, she gets hold to do a thing.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know who else has hold moves, but they're very different depending on who does them.
Okay. That explains why I didn't know what they were.
Yeah, I think usually, yeah, like Unleashed Device, I've seen usually empowered by the Apocalypse systems that take 3 hold and use them to ask questions. And here it's just like pick 3 questions. That's fine. Wait, not used. Yeah, the ask 3, but usually it's just done through hold. And anyhow, a lot of times it's just like a token or a point, and it comes up. Then Sheryl gets like cool trap points, barrier points, Citadel of Dust points. Which, like, if you're all deciding to let the barrier do the work for you, then is probably what you're spending. Yes.
Sorry, what was that whole question?
That everyone seems to be hiding behind everyone else, basically, on this new side of the barricades, which is fine. Like you, the glass shards or whatever probably work well enough as defenses that you're protected and good as the last wave. Now they're kind of 4, but they're unhappy about like crossing over, so they're more hissing at you. So you're on the right side to go down, but also between you and the exit, there's some angry centipedes you'll have to deal with at some point. But right now, I think they're content to wait for you, or vice versa. Is what it seems. Go ahead.
So, one of the things that I get on my character sheet, and I just want to, I mean, feel free to correct me, but I also have trained attack animals, I think.
That's true. Yeah, we pictured those also as some sort of, excuse me again. Too much tea, that's what it is. As some sort of insect. I don't know. Tell us about it. You have trained.
Okay, so I get that like in addition to my mount, though, right? Like just okay.
Probably kind of riding alongside, like you'd have a horse and a dog pack or whatever.
Yeah. So I was imagining my my mount, who we've established as a dung beetle, right? So like this is sculpted saddle,
modified,
and then this, like several big horns, the front of which got ripped off, but the back too. There's kind of this like triceratops looking thing. So
better hope you don't encounter a set of double doors.
I think I've learned my lesson there. The back two
Hope so. I'll bug next time for real.
kind of curved together, and between the back two, there's probably like the size of a beach ball. There is a wasp nest
What?
hanging down.
I'm liking
sculpted into
where
this.
this is going.
Okay. Yes.
So
I'm following you.
I mean, I was
Go
just
on.
like trained attack animals, right? Like I've got to,
Yeah.
like they've got to be wasps.
Mhm.
And Charon whistles, and three of the wasps are gonna fly in because this beetle's too big to come in through the doors. Just waiting outside, but the three wasps are gonna fly in.
And they react. You've
try
got like
and-
a
How big are these
whistle
wasps?
set up.
I don't know. They're trained attack
Dalmatian
animals.
size?
They're like yeah, Dalmatian
listen,
size.
what are the tags on that again? Just try
they
to decide
are,
on a move for you here. It's
shoot. Ranged and mini.
ranged and many. Okay. Why don't you give me a fiercely assault roll? That's a plus force. Let's see. I think you're just using the thing, so no advantage or disadvantage. Harm to you yourself is kind of off the table, but like stuff could still happen. If it goes good, then you get a lot of stuff. All right, go ahead.
So just plus force.
Yeah. I think there's a help somebody after failing a roll, somebody can help you, and yeah, cool. They can do some stuff, but we'll talk about that. Let's see how this goes.
Well, that was
Okay.
a 4.
That's not great. So let's look at call for aid. That feels appropriate right here. So after failing a roll, say when another character helps you, if the group agrees, the helper can help and rolls the appropriate thing.
I just realized I was on mute.
Hit.
Okay.
Islae, distract them.
Well, if you want me to distract them, I can. I was also going to say I could use another point of hold to sneak a small group out behind enemy lines. So, like, I could use the distraction of the wasps and whatever it is they're doing to get us back out the way we came. So at least we're not trapped in this room anymore. I don't know if that's what the group wants to do, but that is a thing I could do. Or I can follow Karen's order and distract them somehow.
Well,
Sorry. But that's an option for kind of after this immediate moment where his bees are trying to do it, and like
Solid.
you can definitely use this distraction to do that. But I don't think in the moment that's calling for that's if anyone wants to like help him boost it up from a failure to a success.
Okay.
You do also possibly share in the consequences, so like keep that in mind. But like harm to you is probably also off the table unless you do something that makes me make you take harm. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But right now, go ahead.
And I was thinking, so also call for aid. Like, I feel like you have sworn to be my bodyguard,
Yeah, I
and so
know.
that gives you advantage on that roll.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So-
relevant backstory gives you advantage
Cool.
on the roll, so that's chill.
Then I am going to use my grappling rig thing that we discussed earlier that is a big
Oh, yeah.
like net thing and shoot it at, I don't know if they're together or if there's just like one, but like basically shoot it
You
to try
want
to
like an electrified net gun? Like,
yeah, like tangle it
you
up.
can do whatever
kind
the
of
hell you
dealio.
feel like,
Yeah.
or throwing net that kind of like deploys. You got whatever you want, like a Pokeball,
that's what I was thinking,
basically,
like,
but
yeah.
it's a net.
Yeah, like a Pokeball
Hell
that
yeah,
turns into a
alright.
net. Yeah. So I want
Alright,
to
excellent.
entangle one of those. So what do I do with that?
That's totally chill. That's probably also a plus force roll. So give me one of those.
With
I guess
advantage, because
if you hit
story
with advantage,
line.
if you hit, his roll becomes a mixed success. Oh hell yeah!
Woo! Look at
You
that.
are also immune to the consequences
Wait, how did I
because you
get a
did so good.
14.
Ooh.
I'm confused
12
by that.
plus 2.
Plus,
Yeah, perfect
plus
roll.
2. I only have a +1 to force. How did that happen?
Family thing?
Oh.
That's a fair question.
Yeah, it says +1/+1.
Oh, weird. Okay, well.
No,
Maybe it assumed
that's,
one of the +1s or something. I don't know.
No, because you added your family thing to steal. That's right.
Well, regardless, it was a hit.
Whether
it's a 13 or
I mean, a 14 or 13, that's not the biggest. Let's not waste time on that. Totally valid. Sweet. You avoid the consequences. And Ganymede, you do fiercely assault. So on a 7 to 9, you choose one of the consequences, and I get to pick 2.
Me?
Yes. Do you have the fiercely assault move up? I can list them. That I probably should for.
Let's go ahead.
Yeah, let's do
list
it for
list them for the viewers. Yeah, while I find
for
it.
you folks at home. You could for fiercely assault the player list. If you get a mixed success, you pick 1. If you get a ultimate success, you pick 2 of you scavenge a device. You find some new info and get 1 data. Data's a thing. It's more a family thing than a character thing. We'll get to it more later, I think. Your avenue of escape is clear. You inflict savage, terrifying harm, frightening and dismaying your foes. And then I get to pick 2 if you mix, 1 if you ultra succeed of something someone important is harmed. Others will come after you. You take harm as appropriate, or the situation is destabilized and chaos will follow, which is always fun.
That's
so
not a good
1.
word.
Chaos.
So, Charon's mission here is to obtain genetic data from arthropods. So he's going to try and scavenge. So it says scavenge a device. That can I say it like while the wasps are swarming in and Islae is basically like trident and net, like Neptune fighting this thing. Charon is gonna like run in, like pull out like a small knife and just like saw off one of the legs off of the dead centipede and then just like stuff it into his bag.
Okay, so you're looking for a leg?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything you're kind of hoping for it to do?
Yeah, I'm hoping so I've seen these guys out on the surface in the ice, so I'm hoping that I can get some genetic material that'll allow like I guess provide cold resistance for our something
cool.
Some kind of like antifreeze technology for our insects or something like that.
Some cold adaptation. Hell yeah, I love it. Excuse me. Okay.
I'm assuming that is why.
Which is sometimes.
I'm assuming that's why Charybdis's horn broke. Is like maybe his exoskeleton is like hyper brittle in the cold.
Yeah, I love that. You know what you're talking about. I mean, it makes sense. No, it's a bug designed mostly for like cave life. Isn't going to necessarily survive on this like really harsh surface. That's totally valid. I'm glad you're thinking about it so that someone is. But yeah, like I said, you describe the device and you get to give a clue to its function, and I get to give a clue to its function, which is that it's still twitchy. It's still very twitchy. But you get your cool leg, and I get to pick 2 bad things. So you're getting in close is what you're telling me?
Mm-hmm.
Because it sure sounds to me like you're asking for harm. Now, these aren't too big. Like I said, they're like, only like, what's that? That feels like less than a meter around. So it's across. Would probably only deal, let's say, 1 harm to you, but take a harm.
Okay.
And likewise, you think it has your scent. You suspect this is not the last of the centipedes you're going to see, even if you don't stay here.
All right.
So they're called centipedes because they catch your scent? I thought they were called centipedes because they had 100 legs.
No, it's entirely that's there's only so many sounds in English, you know, it's just rough based. We're talking distant future. It's just how it is, you know?
Yeah. Latin roots don't even exist anymore.
Exactly. We declench nothing. Is that a thing?
I
think that's a thing.
I recommend we make a full retreat. I'm a little bit worried there are more of those. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's up to you guys now. You do have one more hold, Sheryl. I can tell you can probably get I don't think everyone wandered in. There's probably a few grad students still outside or whatever. Definitely some of the support staff, you know, a couple of the engineers, a few of the hunters, scouts, whatever. You could probably qualify everybody who's in there as a small group for the sake of your Citadel of Embers? No, Darkness?
Citadel of Dust.
Dust! Dang it! Dust. I was so close. All right.
Yeah, so I will use another hold to sneak a small group out behind enemy lines and away from the smelling centipedes or whatever's going on.
That is great news because not only are you leaving the area that you've set up, that you were leaving it with all of your hold spent. Very exciting. The Smellipedes, are we going with that? How do we feel about it? Okay, I'm seeing some emphatic nodding, and I don't love it, but all right.
It's the only way I know how to nod.
No, that's fair. You got to do you. It's making me think about myself, you know? Oh God, Peter, what have you done?
I'm sorry.
No,
the lighting.
It's very.
I changed my lighting too because it was getting dim.
Oh God.
No, that's too much. Sorry, viewer.
Well, did you get what you came for, Sharon?
Did you?
Well, he's frozen, so the antifreeze must have not worked.
Oh yeah, he is frozen. Is Peter gone? R.I.P. Peter.
Oh no.
Shall we move on to the secret military research facility?
R.I.P. Peter. Yeah, I mean, I think we've got everything we need here.
One wiggly leg.
Great.
Got one wiggly leg, some info. I mean, mostly this is an info gathering thing anyways. So info is great. Now you know.
I got 1 point of data.
This place. A bit of data. You know, like if you want to like deal with
One
it,
datum.
you gotta handle some centipedes that like apparently have smell. I don't know. It's wild. This Peter. Oh, he's gone for real now. R.I.P. I can Oh God, that messes up everything on the layout.
It's fine. We'll figure it out when he comes back.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Unreliable.
Well, didn't you say that the other
cabin
centipedes were
internet.
after him? Now I'm worried.
Yeah,
Right?
same, right? They found him. Oh no.
Oh gosh.
That was fast. They do have a lot of legs.
Peter, I'm gonna run quick to the bathroom. If anyone else wants to, we'll wait for Peter.
We'll take a quick break and be right back. Bye.
Yeah, technical issues, gang.
We need a technical issue.
Yay,
Yeah.
we're back again.
All right. Hi, everyone.
Wait, nope. He's frozen again. Look at that face.
Oh, Peter.
Oh, Peter.
Well. Oh, he's back. There it is.
Okay,
Excellent.
the sign of panicking.
Superb. Love it.
I was going to show you guys my
your
Calvin
camera
Hobbes
bit rate
tattoo.
to just a couple of
but
pixels.
yeah. Can I even do that in Zoom?
I don't know.
Who knows? They do have a button that makes your face like smoother, and I hate it.
Oh yeah.
It's neither
No.
here nor there.
I'm sorry. These wrinkles,
Right?
they're
hard earned.
They're 100% all I charm. So
Right?
if I
God
do
gave
that,
me
I'm
this face. I don't
yeah.
need to fuck with it. No, but yeah, you got your cool leg, and know there's a power source in the basement, and also have information about the sort of thing that infests this place, which is kind of cool, and like some idea of what it contains. So hey, you've got a lot of intel here. All of it very exciting. Are you good? You got out. You suspect that now that they have the taste for human flesh, that they're not stopping necessarily, but you're out.
No problems will come from this.
Yeah.
All right.
No problems will likely come from this. That's
Yeah.
Well, I'll scout to the north on my speeder bike, and I'll let you know what it looks like.
Okay. Do you want to once again do whatever that move is? I forget.
Wasteland survival.
Wasteland survival is probably right. There's also a Forge a Path one, but I think Wasteland survival
I'll
is
do
more.
Wasteland survival for now.
Yeah,
I think did Forge a Path earlier.
No, I think the scale we're looking at is especially because you're scouting more than whatever. But yeah.
Oh, where's my
What
number?
did you
There it
roll?
is.
10. Excellent.
I haven't failed a damn thing yet.
On a hit.
Well, now you did it.
So I work for Roll20.net, work for Roll20.net, and so I just told them to give me all the good rolls.
So
I have to read the effect. Sorry, I'm not.
No, that's all right. Again, because we got viewers, I'm going to read it out loud. On a hit, pick one. The GM will give you further details. That's me. Sorry. You lose something. A member of your group is hurt. An obstacle or threat is blocking you. Blocking your way back. So you can get there, but maybe there's a rock slide. But on a 10 plus, you also get a good thing. From which you get to pick one of you discover a hidden treasure. Worth a lot if you can secure it. You discover a secret path you can take to this route without triggering this move, so you get a cool route. Or you discover a secret. And then we have to figure that out.
I definitely want to discover a hidden treasure in the Wasteland.
Excellent.
Because that sounds fun.
And
then I guess I'll pick. Do I get to pick what I lose along the way? Or do you give me the details?
It's you lose something. Let me take. What did you have in mind? Because let's talk.
I wasn't sure. That's why I was wondering if I had to pick or if you picked.
No, I have to pick. Necessarily. But if you had something, I'm happy to defer.
I'm going to pick an obstacle or threat is blocking my way back.
Ooh,
and I'm going to say...
We've got that. Oh, go ahead. What do you...
Does it... Well... I don't want it to derail the story, though. I want it to be something...
No, go ahead.
Entertaining. Well, I was going to say... Well, no, because you said that other people aren't on the surface yet, right?
Well, I mean, to your knowledge, you're not the only underground metropolis, but certainly, I figure BSG style, there's definitely been major loss of contact. Although honestly, I can't technologically justify it, but that's fine. I'm not worried about it.
Can I say that my obstacle is that my bike stops working?
Oh yeah, that
I guess that's an obstacle. I was thinking a physical obstacle, but
no, that's an obstacle. You're in a situation now where you you know what? I'm even gonna let you kind of have led the party there, so you can all arrive at your cool new military research facility. But yeah, your bike definitely is out of gas. Dang it, you should have fueled up.
Damn fossil fuels.
Now you can walk with the rest of us.
Very hard to come across. That's the problem.
I flip it into neutral, so now it's just like a bike you pedal.
No, you're just
It has pedals?
For just such an occasion. Heavy though? So very, very heavy.
It loses the Swift keyword. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Now, do just I discover a hidden treasure, or does our group discover a hidden treasure?
I think just you if you want it.
Well, the thing that my character is looking for is a way of hang on, I gotta read it because I wrote it
because
down.
like you kind of went ahead to scout, and so you don't necessarily have to bring back all the information if you're not feeling generous,
so
especially if it's not on the route.
Ganymede was looking for a critical component of a medication synthesizer that replicates insulin and other medication for underground people.
Sure.
And it was something that they couldn't make. So that's why that's something he was looking for to bring back for his family to sort of use back in the underground areas. So is that something valuable? I don't know. Or do I find a device or like a clue to where I might find that or something? I'm not sure.
It's just it's worth a lot if you can secure it as the kind of reading. So it kind of has to be something with enough attached to it. So I think that well, kind of just scouting around the area, you find enough information to know that it's inside your the cool military research facility.
So that they would have the component that I'm looking for. Okay. That makes sense.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm not quite sure how you would necessarily know because we haven't quite drilled down into what's broken or missing. But like you feel confident that you can replace it in here.
The quantum nebulizer.
You feel that like there's these military, folks researching something. It was definitely the quantum nebulizer. You see the sign for the quantum nebulizer room 1 mile that way. It's a lot of tunnels, let me tell you. I mean, just kind of, I guess, looking up. Since you've got there, I guess I should describe it, huh? Because it's what were once kind of gigantic bunker doors, really like 2 foot, like thick steel doors, but kind of opened up. They're about, I want to say like 5 meters across. So like you could fit, a pretty big truck through. Actually, I had 2 trucks side by side, probably. I don't know, right? And kind of those, there are rails leading through it. So you assume kind of stuff was laid. It's kind of the entrance looks a lot like the mines and caverns that you guys have surely dug. Like, there's been a lot of digging, guys. You've been underground for quite some time and in need of nuclear fuel too. So like that, absolutely, we're mining operation. Anyhow, that's neither here nor there. It looks kind of at its opening like a large mine, basically, with tracks for shifting stuff out. What do you want to do?
Dibs.
Huh? Dibs?
Dibs.
Dibs. All right.
It's mine.
I mean, that's up to some moves later on, but we're not there yet. Can secure a crucial advantage to that, though, moving on, if you handle this right. What are you doing? What's just calling dibs?
Lissa, don't you have a contact here or something? I don't remember.
What?
Oh, you had a contact here. You were looking for something here. I don't remember.
Had gone on secret missions here before.
Yeah.
You don't know about.
You don't know about that.
You don't know about this. Who told you?
What secret mission?
Who spilled the beans?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Neither do I. Clearly.
Never been here before in my life.
I feel like we need a clearly defined goal here. What is our goal here? Is this to just obtain technology?
I mean, once again, I think any one of you probably wants to fill your family's needs. Kind of is always a background goal of yours. But likewise, add cool new things to your surplus is equally beneficial. Because moods just like the whole thing this runs on. Maybe we'll see. I think I
Yeah.
haven't played it at the family level yet. We'll find out together,
Yeah.
but not this. So there's that. You kind of broadly, as an expedition, been tasked with specifically gathering information about, like, I hadn't specified this previously, but I suspecting kind of above ground habitability in particular. Like, I have to imagine them, like, moving back kind of is somewhat of a priority, or at least something that they kind of want to explore on kind of like how we want to live on the moon sort of deal, like and of course above ground has like way cooler and different resources, so that's also exciting. So yeah, those are kind of your goals, is to find shit out and secure footholds and whatnot.
Is there a door?
No, it's wide open. We're not doing this. It's a very long tunnel. It kind of curves off. You don't know what's behind it, but the door is open.
Amazing.
Again.
Only one door an episode.
That was an elevator door. I just provided an open alternative. So,
What is the sun doing to the ice?
oh god, that's I mean, much like in the Antarctic, it's providing something in the way of relief against the absolute frigid temperatures. I have to imagine it's probably getting up into, the low negative 90s now, and as opposed to kind of the darkened
swimsuit weather.
Toasty.
Yeah.
No, actually, well below the freezing point of water. Thank you for bringing that up. I don't think it's particularly likely to melt anything, but it kind of might refuse some of that, like, sand or ice sand dust grains would be kind of the most. It might make things a little slicker. I think the cold overwhelms by a pretty significant margin, especially at this point where the Atmo hasn't really had time to heat back up, because the sun's back, guys. The sun's back.
The Atmo. You're so hip.
Fuck.
I love you. Speaking of the sun and things, how long did it take us to get from the catacombs to the secret base facility thingy? Was this like did we spend a sleep out here, or how did that
There's
work?
probably a sleep, yeah. You probably have to make camp. It's well set up, well defended. Because I mean, Xander just like crushed it with that 10 on the survival roll. You avoided attack, I think. But yeah, you probably did have to. I don't know. Do you guys? How does your sleep schedule kind of match up with the sun? Has it yet? I imagine, because I know in isolation people end up more on a 25-hour clock than a 24. As what it turns out, I have guessing after a while that's just like how they did it.
Yeah.
So you're could be out of whack with the sun by any amount that you feel like. It's up to you all.
That makes
in fact,
sense.
traveling by. Go ahead.
We started like coming up like before sunrise. Like I feel like that would have been like, we would have just been like, oh, it's like it's like time to start work time, and then like we went up, even though like it would have made more sense to wait until sunrise to go up. It was just like, no, it's 7 o'clock or whatever. Like 7 out of 25 hours of the day, it's like
so
time
it's
to
kind
go
of
up
constantly shifting with. Oh man, I've heard from Mars scientists that it is just a nightmare to like work. And Mars is off by a half hour from either of those two, so but still, like that constantly shifting throughout the day schedule, once you have the sun back involved, is definitely going to drive some people mad. We'll deal with the societal consequences of that later. Don't worry. Right now, we're just exploring this cool
it's a really
secret
interesting
military.
question, wondering how sleep habits of our civilization in general would change. I don't know.
Well, what do you think? I'm here.
I think cultural tradition would dictate that you'd still, set alarms for yourself or whatever.
Yeah,
to try and maintain whatever it was that humans were used to before. But
something resembling like agreed upon sleeping hours. There's still like night shifts, even though like night really doesn't have that much meaning. Like I said, that extra hour I think probably slips in at some point after year 300 or something.
I was gonna say, I would think that, like, at least at first when the sun disappeared, it would probably be a lot like the quarantine we're experiencing now, where everybody's like, oh, but we need to maintain as much normalcy as possible, right? And then, like, the longer humanity went without the sun coming back, the more that, like, fell apart. Especially as, like, anybody who remembered the sun was now dead, that, like...
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh, why are we standing on principle? Yeah.
No, absolutely. I want to say. Go ahead.
I was going to say the shepherds have a like a bioluminescent insect in their caves that produces light that we like cultivate inside.
Does it have like a cyclical sort of thing that you will whatever buy, or is it just like
air? It doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah.
So it's just like we can't control that. Like, so we just have like light caves and dark caves, and we just kind of like in and out.
Okay. No, that makes a lot of sense. I figure, like I said, there's still definitely bulbs and whatever. If I'm being honest, I very much pictured Battlestar Galactica for this kind of underground, like confined aesthetic. But
very submarine,
kind of on a larger kind of scale. Like I said, it's like city sized instead of just like. Anyhow, that's neither here nor there. There's this big cool tunnel. It's got some tracks leading down into it. Who wants to give me the unearth thing, the unearth roll plus lore? To kind of like, I guess, scope it out. Yeah, okay. The unearth the forgotten lore move is, I think, appropriate at this moment for whoever wants to kind of take the lead on that.
I mean, the Institute, I feel like they're...
I was going to say, I can roll if we want to risk my bad luck again.
I forgot about your luck.
I believe in you.
You're probably good at it.
This is your thing.
I can't,
I mean, I have +1 lore, but like I had +1 steel when I rolled a 5.
Can you
that's
just
fair. I think you can probably roll with advantage. Let me just look up the rules for followers, but I believe that this is something that your very good research student or grad students can help you out with.
Okay.
And if not, and if you fail, they just hide.
Yeah, I think when you act with your followers that help you, they give you advantage. They increase directly assisted. Friendly scholars can help produce but won't help you. Yeah, I'm gonna go with take a Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, take advantage. Actually, first roll plus quality on the followers, which is kind of weird, but 2d6 plus 3.
Oh, just like generally?
Yeah, unless it's got a quality button. I'm not looking at it at this, but I have to imagine it's not quite that fancy.
Is this just determining how good the grad students are?
How helpful they are here. Okay, yeah, take advantage. That is very good.
Yeah.
So
wow. Curse broken.
Watch me still fail this roll though.
Yeah, right.
I rolled a 10.
Oh, see, you did fine. So you get to ask 3 of the questions. Is that a wonder or a horror? Where is it drawing power from? What dangers is it hiding? And how can I turn it to my advantage?
What dangers is it hiding?
Oh, You've been here before with a Geiger counter, and you know that this place definitely has been irradiated in the past, so it's kind of dangerous to enter on that regards, and also that could relate to the research and any kind of nasty beings therein. You remember some, like, I guess probably more, or at least the kind of fist-sized mites wandering around. Sometimes they got aggressive at the smell of meat, which is you.
Cool.
We're all meat. That's the message. Sorry. But yeah.
We're all meat. That's our new tagline. Can we call that episode? Can we call this episode "We're All Meat"?
That feels right.
Sure. Technically, we're all meat donuts.
God, I hate that. Anyhow, ask another question before we have to continue this line.
First two questions again.
Is that a wonder or a horror, or is it drawing its powers from? The last one's the advantage one.
Where is it drawing its powers from?
Oh, deep within. Again, I'm just kind of. This is institute specific knowledge. I'm kind of because you have definitely some sort of connection to this place with your secret missions here and all that. That it seems to have kind of algae-based bioreactor something. Listen, I'm not that sort of scientist, but we're dealing with it. We're dealing with it, people. And yeah, it's got like a cool something that seems to be self-sustaining even after all these centuries somehow, which is cool, but also mysterious and whatever. So that's fun. But wait, it's you follow the bend around, you take a left, you take a right. It's a whole. You've got kind of this place mapped out a little bit, but it's like miles and miles. It's very sprawling. So even there's all sorts of labs, many of them already picked over by the time you got here from, like post-fall rating and whatever, but also like by you and so possibly others. It's just definitely a mess at this point. It's very big, but it's powered by a cool algae-based thing in the basement or off to one side. And one more. Is the advantage.
The last one, the advantage one, yeah.
Okay,
advantage.
yeah, cool. Let me just double check what you need. You can almost certainly use it to fill what you're missing progress right now, right? Yeah. This place, there's a lot to be learned. You think probably some of this stuff could be fashioned into better defenses, or at least to kind of like get rid of that need, but definitely the progress is, I think, more easy to like get from here if you like, for instance, figure out what makes that cool reactor keep happening. I don't know.
Okay. So this place, super irradiated. So we probably shouldn't spend too much time here. Also, there's giant mites inside that like meat, which is us. So be ready for that. And let's make this trip a quick one. Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Now we know more about this thing. What do you guys want to do? You want to like go in it's built into like this kind of pure, I don't know, my rocks that well, granite. But,
don't get Peter started on rocks. That was my downfall last episode.
Oh God, Peter, what's something that's like mountains are made of, but like pretty common and probably fairly equatorial? Like I'm figuring that like there's probably like
granitic rock is that's fine. We're
cool,
good.
Perfect.
Yeah,
It's
we're good.
Definitely, it's built into that. It's something you
Charon
build
is
abilities
not
into.
even remotely as into rocks as my D&D character
good.
is.
I got
I
asked
had a dwarf
last
once.
time what kind of rock this underground temple was made out of, and I was like, that's the one thing I didn't plan out ahead of time. Now I'm angry.
That's why you just got to make it up as you go along, which is the only thing I'm doing with this game. I want to be clear, I've prepared almost nothing. But hey, we're having fun, I hope. So yeah, you've got a tunnel. What's happening? Is anyone going in? Is anyone like...
So, Lissa, when you say make it quick, do we have like an objective, like a place where we're making a straight line to it, getting something and leaving? Or like, how are we ensuring that this is a quick trip and nobody comes out with an extra arm?
That's how radiation works.
In video games it is.
In real life, you just get cancer.
Yeah.
That's less visible.
Less fun. Yeah.
Less fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, if the harm check boxes are just progressing cancer, then this game sucks.
Yeah. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 4, dead.
It sucks on the fun axis. It does not suck on the realistic axis.
I'm just saying, there's radiation in this world, and you people have to deal with it. There's
so
like tags
I'm
for
interested
that.
in seeing if there's any new interesting tools that we haven't found in past expeditions in this facility. I don't know what everyone else's goals are, so I probably won't go further than places that we've already been able to map, just in the interest of not getting lost and growing an extra arm or getting cancer.
I grew an extra arm, and then that arm got cancer. Oh no!
I mean, the extra arm, I guess, is cancer, right?
I guess, yeah. Technically, yeah.
But good cancer, because who doesn't want a third arm?
It's like a tail and the tail spot. It's terrible.
Oh, yeah.
I was just going to say, it matters very much where the third arm grows out of.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't.
I can finally scratch my back.
Well, that's true. Glass half full kind of guy, I guess.
Yeah, I'm just constantly giving myself back massages.
But you control the arm.
So
you're just trying to figure out if that was a pun or not.
Nope.
Maybe.
No, it was a tease word for one of his videos.
God.
I do have a video about alien hand syndrome. That's true.
Charon's objective here is to obtain one of those meat-eating mites that
heard. All right.
He has heard about.
Okay.
And I'm looking for technology as well, so I guess we have to go in.
Same.
We didn't even have to go that far into the tunnel to get to the mites, presumably.
That is true. Depends how recently they've eaten.
You can just do the kissy lips and they'll run up to you like puppies, right?
You try that.
That's one way to lose an arm. But hey, you'll get one back, so it kind of balances out.
It's a wash.
It's a wash. No, that's
Net
when,
two
you know
arms.
what?
Check.
All right. No.
Listen, you said you had a map, right? We should probably use that.
So, speaking out of character, do I have a map, like,
sure.
Can I just ask questions and be like, how we gotten this far? Okay.
Absolutely. I don't think you found too much
I don't know what, like,
that you haven't already looted.
Like.
It kind of, yeah, that's fair.
Been here before?
Has anyone else?
I haven't been inside before.
I think, okay, yeah, there you go.
Okay. So when I see that it's looted, I should be like, shock.
No, you've been here before. I think you've been kind of coming here in secret for generations now, probably. So, like, any given piece of looting, maybe you did it, you know?
Yeah, but in like, general, if they haven't been there,
yeah,
and they get there and it's totally looted.
I think, like any sort of pre-fall place you encounter will have a little bit of that, just like kind of in the panic that follows the sun going away. Every place that's left, even the kind of semi-functional ones, definitely get worn down. roughly account for why everybody's retreating underground, which was probably kind of in a small use already for whatever reasons. Mining, maybe, I don't know. Doesn't matter now. We can all like flesh that out later. But yeah, so it kind of was probably an old mine. There's a creaky elevator, not dissimilar to yours, but stuck. Excuse me. Yours was definitely originally an old mine before it got turned into something else, which got turned into something else, which got turned into a city for like catastrophe reasons. But you've originally got like this big mine elevator. Anyhow, they've got one that's kind of stuck, but kind of down those hallways. They're kind of doorways that are like the doorways in kind of any hospital, kind of green with like that crosshatched glass. Many of them, of course, broken. There's kind of laboratories with like, benches that have largely been picked through, didn't necessarily have too much to begin with because the secret. You feel like there's stuff hidden down the elevator, but you can't get it working yet. You probably have figured out where the elevator control room is, but don't necessarily know how to handle it. That's probably in secret, and why you're keeping it secret even probably, although that's up to you. I think the major features up here are labs, kind of an elevator, like gear room, like control rooms, a few security stations probably because it's military, some bunkers, some probably, I don't know, there's definitely laboratories. There we go. Labs and labs. All right. Anyhow, what are we doing? But yeah. Actually, I don't know, Sheryl, what you're expecting, but we are closing in on 7-ish my time, 10-ish Eastern, if we want to maybe explore this cool new mine shaft area next time.
I think
that feels like a better
this feels like a good pause moment.
Rather than
I would like to thank everyone who's been hanging out and watching and in the chat if you have been, like Sarah and Emily, and hello and welcome MDBM. I don't know what that stands for, but letters. We also don't know the rules, as you can probably tell. This was session 1. But we had fun with it.
We're learning.
I hope you did too. We're learning together. Also, just this game is a lot more sort of like rules fluid than a lot of other role-playing games, I guess is a good way of explaining it. So it's okay if we don't know the rules because it's mostly about telling the story.
It's built on the Powered by the Apocalypse. Like, I'm trying to kind of read out rules, and I guess I probably should have explained moves a little better at the start. Maybe we can do like a quick crash course start next time. Maybe not. Who knows? We'll figure it out. But like, I'll read stuff out. And we'll kind of build our understanding together because this is my first time running it too. We're figuring.
But yeah, we have been Sheryl, Jareth, Jordan, Xander, and Peter. Jareth is running the game. I am playing the aquatic people, the Ripples, and the character Islae. Jordan is playing the tech people, the Institute, and the character Lissa. Xander is playing the law keepers, the Bowerbirds, and the character Ganymede. And Peter is playing the shepherds of the cave, the farmer type people with giant insects, and the character Charon. You can find many of us online in other places. Jordan, Xander, and I run our own YouTube channels. Peter works on a YouTube channel for the Carroll County Extension Office. And Jareth is the production manager for 12 Tone. So yeah, you can find us around. Don't forget our social media handles are down in the reference section below. Is there anything specific anybody would like to advertise at the end of the show here?
No.
Shout out to Meat Donuts.
Meat donuts.
Shout out to meat donuts.
Sure.
Dream is sponsored by Meat Donuts.
Yes.
And if this is your first time finding Nature Check, hello and welcome. We have lots of cool things going on this channel, which you can also find down in the schedule panel below on Twitch. Yeah, we do a lot of things. We have a D&D game that Peter is a player in, and I'm the game master of. We have people playing video games on this channel at a variety of times, so come by and check us out whenever. But yeah, if that's all everybody's got, then I guess we'll get out of here for this evening. Thanks for watching or listening or whatever, everybody. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Bye.
Later.